Hi, I'm Tom Spoors, and I don't like any film released after 1990.
Hi, I'm Aaron Murray, and I only like films with nu metal soundtracks.
We are not reviewers, but we are here to talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 4,
Yes, we are.
and all our glowing great opinions on how fantastic it is.
They're great!
We love Marvel films.
They're so good. Give us money, Disney. Money, me like.
I love Hawkeye.
I love Kingo.
Okay. Before we properly dive into talking about Phase 4 and Shay, what do you think of the Marvel Cinematic Universe pre-Phase 4, Aaron Murray?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I remember watching Iron Man 1 when it came out. I was a young lad. I was a young lad of 7 years old. And I knew fuck all about the whole it's all part of a universe. I was just like, wow, he does that. That's cool. So I never actually discovered that until was it Thor or Captain America? It was Captain America, the first Avenger, was kind of when I realised oh, these were all connected.
Yeah.
And I was really into it for a while. I was probably from when Captain America came out all the way to probably 2016. 2017 was the peak of when I was really into them.
Yeah.
I kind of lost a bit of the hype later on. I still enjoyed a lot of them. I still went to go and see them all as they were coming out, but I wasn't constantly this is the best thing ever. I wasn't constantly like that. I wasn't always singing the praises. There
was a period of time where Civil War was my favourite film.
Yeah.
That was a dark time.
Yeah. There's always that time where you go and see the new MCU film and it's your best film ever until the next one comes out.
Yeah.
I loved
Thor the Dark World.
I liked Thor the Dark World.
You liked Thor the Dark World.
I did, but then over time I realised how shit it was. I don't buy for 1 minute. Everyone talks about it and I go, oh, it's so shit. I remember when that came out, people going, it was better than the first. Was it shite? It was awful. It was fucking awful.
The first Thor film had dodge tilts. Had those cheeky Genuinely, I rewatched the first Thor film because I was doing some kind of Marvel-related project and I watched all of Phase 1 again, except Iron Man 2 because I'm not putting myself through that.
I hate Iron Man 2.
I hate Iron Man 2.
It's just an advert for the next one. The whole thing exists as an advert.
Fucking Whiplash. With lips.
It's fucking Mickey Rourke. Who looks like his face is melting.
But I watched the first Thor again, and actually, to be fair, I will say, rewatching Phase 1, I was pleasantly surprised by the original Iron Man, which I hadn't seen in years. I watched it, and I just kind of assumed it was shite.
Yeah.
And then I watched it again, and I was like, you know what? Actually, this is good. I like this. And then I watched the original Thor. To be fair, Incredible Hulk as well. Incredible Hulk was better than I remembered it being.
Incredible Hulk is very good.
Okay, I might not go that far.
Okay, well, it's not okay. It's not very good, but it's good.
It's not the worst MCU thing.
People make it out like it's an absolute piece of shit now, and I don't get it.
I think genuinely,
it's fine.
If it starred Mark Ruffalo, I think people would still would lose their shit over it.
That's probably why people don't like it. It's because of Edward Norton.
It doesn't count to their canon or whatever, and so it's it's just the confusing one we try to forget. But it's not actually that bad.
No, it's fine.
Exactly.
It's better than some of the recent ones.
Oh, absolutely.
By a long shot.
But we'll get into that. But yeah, Thor was the one in particular where I was like, you know what? This film may not be funny or well written, but damn, it can do a Dutch tilt.
Kenneth Branagh really went off on that one.
Well, he did. It's filmed really, really well. Maybe not really, really well. Well.
Yeah.
I watched it and I'm like, at least this is visually interesting.
I think that's kind of one of the things about Phase 1 that's different. Is I feel like there's a bit more personality in terms of the directors.
Yeah.
Like even like because like I really like Captain America, the First Avenger.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that one a lot.
That's fair.
Because it's really unique with how like like they've not done a film like that.
Yeah.
I like that, and Phase 1 was good at that, where each one felt very distinct and different.
Exactly.
Probably because they kind of had to be.
Exactly.
Whereas, because they still were establishing the formula.
They didn't have the formula to fall back onto.
Yeah, they didn't really have an idea, and then once Avengers came along, that's when they were like, okay, they're all Avengers now.
That's the thing is fucking Incredible Hulk. I think part of the reason why I kind of hold that up on a pedestal now. It's not the best MCU film, but it's what I wish more MCU films were, which is something that kind of it has a bit of a silly concept because guy turns green will always be somewhat silly, but it doesn't waste time setting that up. You know, the guy turns green. We know the guy turns green. Okay, cool. And it's not painful. It's like there's not like constant quips.
No, like it's very it's weird actually thinking about it for an MCU film. I don't even think there's even really any quips in it besides the odd few. Like
I would say I feel like the comedy of the Incredible Hulk, which I can not really think of any, and I'm not saying the film's unfunny because I don't think every film's trying to be funny. But if anything, I think the comedy would come from Big Green Man. Yeah,
like it wasn't. It didn't feel like it was. When you compare it to the rest of them now, when you compare it to like the new stuff, it does not feel like an MCU film at all.
Not in the slightest.
Because they didn't even back then they probably didn't even know what an MCU was.
Exactly.
Like they were just kind of like, oh well, let's just do this. Let's just do that.
Let's just make a Hulk film.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays, if they would make a Mark Ruffalo Hulk film, Mark Ruffalo would have like a 5-minute segment dedicated to giving a burrito to a cat or something.
Yeah, exactly.
In his Hulk form, and it'd be like he'd squish the burrito, and the burrito would get all over the cat, and he'd like have to go and get a napkin, but he'd be in his Hulk form, and so the napkin would be really small, and he would be trying to use this napkin, and it would fail really horribly, and he'd get burrito on the napkin, and his Hulk would be like, ooh, do I eat the napkin? Do I what with the napkin?
I hope you're listening to this, Kevin Feige, because he's giving us some amazing ideas here.
And he'd like lick the napkin. It would be like a whole like massive scene dedicated just to. I now really want a sitcom just starring Hulk, where he's just going around trying. You know how like Seinfeld's like a series about nothing.
Yeah.
I want a Hulk series about Hulk just doing the most mundane shit, but because he's Hulk, he just fucks it up constantly.
That's it. It's just Hulk. Hulk has to go to the store.
Speaking of sitcoms,
I
was going to make a really smooth transition there, and then I just gulped the water, and that did not work. Okay, let me try that again. Speaking of sitcoms, WandaVision.
Wow. That was so good.
It was first try.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
You know what wasn't good? WandaVision.
You know what? The first 2 episodes of WandaVision are good.
You know what? I'll do you one better. The first 3.
What's the third?
See, okay, the first 3 are like basically all like completely sitcom.
Which is the one where it becomes... Is that episode 4 where...
Episode 4 is when it goes like, okay, let's just look at like what's going on around them.
Yeah, that. I remember watching that with my family. So I remember like WandaVision we watched as like a family event. And I remember watching that episode, the Sword episode, where it's like, let's show off Sword. And I was like, well, is it Sword or is it shit? Whichever one it is. They show off in that series with the one character, Monica Rambeau. Is that her name?
I think it's Monica something. It's Monica.
Yeah, we'll just call her Monica.
Yeah, Monica.
And like I remember that episode, and I remember my family being like, "That was the best episode so far." It's like, what? No,
it wasn't, because that episode, it basically you spend 3 episodes looking at this thing and we're like, oh, this is interesting, and then the 4th episode, like, okay. This is everything that's just happened.
Literally.
Again. But we're going to explain it to you. Like, this is this, and this is what this does, and this is what this does. It's like, you've got 9 episodes, and you've just revealed everything in the 4th one.
Like, don't get me wrong, like, WandaVision does not have any twists that are surprising and new.
No!
But I think that's fine.
No, yeah, like, but it established itself as, like, something new.
Exactly.
It was, like, because that's the thing, is, like, this whole, like, thing of, like, oh, like, we're gonna make, like, Disney, like Marvel TV shows on Disney Plus, and it's like that's all fine. That's cool. I like that idea. If they go, okay, we're gonna use it to do something different.
Yes.
And this kind of has that idea, but then it's like they realised, oops, we can't do that because like we'll lose the audience, and like it didn't. Once that happens, it has its moments.
Yeah.
But it just sinks.
Yeah.
And it never gets back up after that.
It is. I will give it credit. It is the only Marvel TV show that is actually a TV show.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. We'll get on to the others. I guess What If counts, but I have so many things to say about What If that it's, but like WandaVision is genuinely, it is a TV show.
That one made the most sense to be weekly.
Exactly.
As well. Like that made sense because it was a show. Like it felt like, there was things happening each episode where they all felt separate. It wasn't just like a 6-hour film.
Exactly.
It's like split into chunks.
And because it was a mystery, it worked. It worked so well with the weekly format. It's a shame all the mysteries were shit.
Yeah.
Ralph Boner.
Yeah, and like they had 2 episodes in their mystery show explaining said mystery. Taking away the mystery out of
episode 4. In episode 4 of a 9-episode thing, and they're like, this is everything that's happened.
Imagine watching Lost, right? Lost, and then like the 2nd episode, they just explain, oh, this is what happened.
Exactly. Exactly. That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
It's like you're reading a Sherlock Holmes book, and 2 chapters in, Sherlock Holmes turns to the audience and goes, so this is everything that's happened, and this is what the twist is going to be. But I'm still going to spend the rest of the episodes, like, the rest of the book, like, pretending I don't know what the twist is.
Yeah. And that was the thing, and then there were people on, like, these, like, geek sites going, like, oh, here's my prediction. And it's like, they basically fucking spelled it out for you. There's nothing to predict.
Mephisto. I think also WandaVision started a really bad trend of this idea of building expectations and building hype.
God, yeah.
And that I think is now played. I mean, obviously, every single MCU project since WandaVision has had someone saying, I bet Mephisto's in this one. But like, I feel like now there's just this whole thing around like massive character reveals, and it's they never do have massive character reveals.
No, exactly. Like they've never that's what's bizarre is like all of these like fan sites will be like, oh, is this person gonna show up in this one or blah blah blah, and it's like they never do.
Yeah.
But that's not the story that they're telling. I don't know why people were expecting that, but then it's like it's just confusing because it's like no matter what happens with these shows, is they always end up being disappointing.
Yeah.
In some way.
Exactly.
Like WandaVision had something. They had they had this mystery. They fucked that up.
Yeah.
And then, and it's like they have an opportunity to do something new, but they're not taking it.
Exactly.
And it's frustrating.
Exactly. I think I genuinely don't think there will be an MCU project that exceeds expectations from here on out, because I think everything is built to be this massive. I dislike the fact now that everything is this massive game-changing thing in the universe.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of why I was excited for the shows.
Yeah.
Because I was hoping they'd be more small scale, which,
granted,
some of them are, at least from what I can tell. Like, at least Hawkeye seems to be pretty...
That's the thing, I mean, we'll get on to Hawkeye more depth, but, like, just as a general thing, I'm so scared that Hawkeye's gonna suddenly, like, be this... Because it's gonna be this massive, like, thing out of nowhere, and it's just gonna be, like... Why let something be small scale? Let something be self-contained.
Yeah, I've already seen people wanting to see Kingpin.
Well, he's been in the show.
But like the Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, he was in the show. He was in the 3rd episode.
Oh well, I have not seen anything past Black Widow. Yeah. So be prepared for that.
He's very qualified for this video.
I am. I promise. I actually didn't know that. Is he actually in it?
Well, his hand's in it, and his voice is in it.
Okay.
And it's meant to be like a cool. I didn't pick up on it the slightest. I mean, I was like half watching it. I was like, oh, and then I think the person I was watching it with was like, oh, that was Kingpin. And I was like, oh, cool.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, granted, to be fair, like I would say Kingpin is probably a bit different of an expectation than Mephisto.
Yeah.
Like,
or like, well, people were saying Doctor Strange was going to be in WandaVision. I remember that rumor.
Yeah, it's like Kingpin, like, I guess could make sense because he's not, you know, like he's recognizable, but he's not Mephisto. He's not some big cosmic creature. Like,
exactly.
He makes sense for a small scale story.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, so, but that's like the thing is like all these like expectations they make it, but then if those expectations aren't fulfilled, then it always ends up being a problem of like this thing is shit then.
Yeah.
Because of, you know, like Spider-Man, which we'll get into soon.
God.
Everyone's got expectations of, the big three, they're all coming.
Oh.
And it's like, here we go.
Oh.
And it's like, if they are not in this fucking film,
yeah,
no matter how good it is, it could be the best thing ever. But if they're not in that film, then everyone will be disappointed. I will think it's shit. You know, and that will ruin the film for a lot of people. And it's like, you've got to learn. Marvel fans have got to learn to balance, like, fan expectations with, like, the expectation of what they want the show to be.
Exactly.
They can't just be like, I want this to happen, I want that to happen. It's like, no, like, you wanna kind of be there and be like, okay, like, this would be cool if this happened, but also trust the writer.
Yeah.
But then there's also a responsibility on the writer to take some fucking risks.
Yes.
And actually do something, you know, and not, you know, make something that's really, like, you know, push it forward, but then don't, you know, retreat, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Whoa.
Oh!
It was I remember the one thing in WandaVision that really, like, stood out to me is, like, this is such a dumb decision on the writer's part was the whole Ralph Boner thing, where it was like, they introduced this character, the Quicksilver, they bring him back, but this time he's the X-Men version, and he got recast or whatever. And obviously that is I've seen the I guess the analysis of it is like it's meant to throw the audience like it throws Wanda, but they should fucking know. The writer should be able, or like whoever that decision was on that part, should be able to, like, you know, have the common sense to realize people are going to be fucking pissed off when it turns out that's not, like, setting up the X-Men.
No, exactly. Like, like, if I'm, like, you know, that's a very deliberate choice for me to go, I'm going to put Quicksilver in my show. Yeah. I'm going to put in Evan Peters in the show. It's like, it's like, that could have been literally anybody. They could have got Aaron Taylor-Johnson back. Literally. Like, they could have done that, and that would have made sense. Exactly. But then they chose Evan Peters, which it was just like this thing of like, what, like, you're setting these expectations, but then it's like, but where are you actually going with it? Exactly. I do remember seeing interviews and shit with, like, the people, like, I think Paul Bettany, I remember one in particular. Did you see that fucking Paul Bettany interview where it was like, but just before the finale, and he was like, I got to work with someone who I've always wanted to work with. Wasn't it, like, rumours that fucking Al Pacino was showing up in WandaVision? Really? I swear to God, maybe this is like a Mandela effect, but I remember when people were talking about that, they said it was like Al Pacino or some really big actor like that was he going to be Mephisto? He might see, maybe, yeah. I don't know, but like it was this thing of like what evidence is this? Like like okay, like Al Pacino. Such a fucking random choice. Yeah, I don't know, but like that's the thing. Is like I guess he was just like, well, you know, everyone wants to work with Al Pacino at some point. Like, okay, like. Then it was thing. The actor turned out to be himself. And like, what the fuck did he? And then after, like, he did an interview afterwards. He was like, oh yeah, I was talking about myself. I don't know why people got so heated about that. He's that much of a narcissist. Like literally, like how do you like have the logic to go? Oh yeah, I'm gonna tease there being this massive actor and massive character in the next film, or the next episode, and then why did people get annoyed when it turned out just to be me? Yeah, it's like because people are gonna have an expectation. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like, you know, most people when they hear something like that, they're not gonna be expecting Paul Bettany 2. They're gonna be expecting another actor. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, he like, and it's like, and that's the problem. Is it's like there's just this constant game now of like expectations are just the fucking out of control.
Yeah.
It's like they're constantly out of control now.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of like they both share the blame. You've got Disney and like the cast all saying all of these different things, and then you've also got, you know, your fans that just got like these totally baseless fucking like bits of evidence to be like, oh, Mephisto, like it always comes back to Mephisto.
It does always. For some reason,
Always.
Spider-Man, apparently the main villain's supposed to be Mephisto. Somehow. I'm sure he's also been the main villain of Doctor Strange 2. Fucking Guardians 3, I'm sure somehow Mephisto's
He's
the main
the next
villain.
Thanos.
He's the next Thanos, obviously.
Mephisto.
Ignore the fact we've been introduced to the next Thanos. It's definitely Mephisto. The finale of WandaVision was also really, really shit.
Oh my god, it was fucking awful.
It was so bad.
The CGI in that was some of the worst shit I've seen in a while. Like, because that's the thing, is like, because these shows, like, I'm assuming they were given a fairly big budget.
I think so.
Because, like, it's Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, surely Disney, and plus, like, it's got some, you know, it's got the MCU actors in it. That's a lot of money to be putting down. But then,
like, I guess if you think about it, surely the budget for the MCU TV shows must be, like, either equal with or more than, because they're longer. I think from
what I've looked, I believe it's like, people have said it's roughly like the budget of like a Game of Thrones kind of thing.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, when it's like, it's not like a film like level, but it's, you know, but it's not like it's more than the average show because of, you know, because the sheer amount of money that has to go into the contracts and all that, although we'll probably jack it up, but like the effects in WandaVision are laughable. Like, they're terrible. Like that Vision fight at the end is one of the worst like bits of Marvel like effects I've seen. It looks horrific.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I don't know whether that was just because it was rushed or because, you know, because that obviously COVID might have affected it or whatever. But like that finale, it didn't feel like, because the show, it felt like a completely different show, but not in a good way.
Yes.
It felt like they just had to like give it the Marvel ending.
Well, exactly. It felt like the whole show was. I think you genuinely could have done something super interesting of maybe Wanda and Agatha, if that's who they're deciding the main villain's going to be. Agatha Harkness, and they have this whole like maybe what it is like Agatha and Wanda like. Even just like I guess they can throw magic beams at each other if they want to, like through the different sitcom eras, and maybe like there's some psychological horror shit that they felt like they were kind of building with.
See, that's the thing. I really liked the horror aspects of the first 3 episodes, and I was hoping we were gonna lean into that more because that stuff was genuinely quite uncomfortable, and I liked what they were doing with that, and it was like, and again, it just had that problem of they just gave up on that.
Yeah.
Like midway through the well.
Exactly. Like, yeah, because that's the thing is, it does start off as like this kind of surrealist horror thing.
Exactly.
And then it's like, by episode 4, it's like, nope, Marvel. MCU.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, but that's what was frustrating, was like, they just wasted that opportunity to actually like push that forward. Because I know, like, you know, with Doctor Strange, like, that's meant to be horror as well, or at least.
Yeah.
We'll get into that, because I don't think that's going to be horror.
No, it won't. It'll be... It's the MCU's first horror film in the same way Eternals was the MCU's first prestige film.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So not at all.
Yeah, it's not going to be...
There'll be some reds in the colour palette.
Yeah.
And that'll literally be it.
Yeah, there'll be like a spooky ghoul. Like, ooh.
It's just the same one they use from Ghostbusters.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, it's not going to actually be like something that was, which it seems like Scott Derrickson, who was going to direct it seemed like he was really pushing for horror. Yeah. Because he is a horror director. Yeah. Like, that's how he got his start. And like when you were talking about it seemed like they were really pushing the horror aspect. Yeah. And then he left due to creative differences. Which is like, and then they've got Sam Raimi in it, but I can fucking guarantee that it's probably going to be like a bit of a director for hire. Like, I don't see much Sam Raimi being in that.
I can't. Well, it's like I guess we'll get on to Eternals more, but like Chloe Zhao in that, she literally could have not been in that film. Yeah. In terms of like directing it.
Yeah, considering the amount of hype that
Exactly.
they gave her as well. They were constantly being like, I guess like Kevin Feige discovered that like you could like film outside. Like you don't have to film everything on a blue screen, and like I guess that just blew his mind.
Literally.
Like he was like, whoa, like guys, did you know that you can like film on a field? Like we don't need to make a green screen field. We can go out right now and do it. And, like I guess that just shocked him, because that's the thing. Eternals. I haven't seen Eternals. But like
I have. We're not just talking out of our asses.
yeah, you have.
I have.
Yeah, I didn't want to watch it. It looks shit.
It is.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I didn't want to see it
Yeah.
because it was boring.
Yeah. It's. I guess we're just talking about Eternals now.
Yeah.
We're gonna go in order. We'll go back to an order.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about
Brief
Eternals.
tangent.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have a lot to say about Eternals, to be fair. More than just kind of, wow, you hire an indie director who's directed 2 films. Sure, they're good films. But who's hired 2 indie films using no-name actors, micro budgets, and in a like super slow-paced, like naturalistic films to hire your big mega blockbuster with a massive ensemble cast, and you're surprised it doesn't work.
But that's like the blockbuster formula now.
Yeah.
It's always, let's say, so like Amazing Spider-Man got Mark Webb.
Yeah.
The director's 900 Days of Summer. A rom-com, like.
I guess that makes a bit more sense, but even then it's like.
Yeah, it's like, but it's still this indie person that they can throw around and be like, do this, and like they can't be like, no. Or like they can't challenge it because they're just an indie director. That's like the formula now.
It feels like they're saving money for the actors by hiring a director who won't ask for a big pay.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Unless you're like James Gunn or Taika Waititi, like I don't. Who directed Black Widow?
I think it was Kate Shortland, but even then, like, I could not tell you anything else.
Yeah, that was her, and like, because I think I looked at her like filmography, and it's all just like smaller.
Yeah.
Like dramas and fillers, and like, but nothing like major. Like you could get her to do that, like she wouldn't like challenge.
Exactly.
Because she's still like a relatively small director, whereas like, but like James Gunn and Taika Waititi, granted they've worked with the formula quite well, I think, and like they've been able to have their own vision, but it's very rare for that to happen.
Yes.
Like,
it's the exception.
They are very much the exception to the rule, because they've been able to craft their style while also, like, working with the formula.
Yeah.
But, like, that's still pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
And for most of the MCU films, they've not been able to do that. They've really struggled.
Yeah, not really, like, at all. I mean, Eternals has... You could definitely guess that Chloe Zhao directed Eternals. Like, obviously, it does... Yeah. It uses outside. It uses the, like, natural lighting.
Like, it does look like a Chloe Zhao film.
It's just not her strength in the slightest. Like, the thing that makes Eternals really, really shit is the screenplay. It's written fucking atrociously. Like, there are some really cool ideas. And some really good actors. But, like one of the characters, like, you have the guy, I don't remember I think he's played by Brian Tyree Henry. I think that's his name.
Yeah.
The black gay one.
Yeah.
And in that, that's first of all, that's so awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's so fucking cool.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like that's one of the things I will say with Eternals is like I think that like that diverse cast is cool.
Yeah.
Like that's really cool to see.
It's amazing.
It's just a shame that they weren't given better material.
Well, exactly. And like that character. I mean, the whole thing of that character is he can build technology or whatever, and he helped people make the first nuclear bomb. That was then used obviously as a nuclear bomb is used.
Yeah.
Lots of people died, and his like whole thing is his character conflict with that. And he has like a family and everything. He has a husband. He has like a kid, and it's all really interesting. But it's never really explored beyond here's his character idea. Okay, next.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Barry Keoghan's character, who great actor, and he kind of nails it. But his character's idea is like he can control like minds or whatever.
Yeah.
And so he has like he enslaves a town basically. to create a perfect utopia. And that's really interesting. But the Eternals just sit down and go, mate, this is a bit shit. Like, and he's like, oh yeah, fair dues. And then it's never really brought up again.
Fair dues.
And then fucking Kingo just fucking waltzes out of there in the for the final battle. Like literally, like he's like, I don't really want to do this. And so he just waltzes out of that, probably just so he could save on his fucking budget. Maybe he just had a day off or something. And then he comes back at the end of the film, and everyone's like, "Oh, what's up, Kingo? What's up, my man?" It's like no one acknowledges the fact that like you just fucking left us for dead, mate.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, you know what? But the best thing is like with Eternals is like honestly, that's probably the show that would have benefited from a show.
Oh, if it was a show.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be like, it could be what, like 9 episodes,
No.
Even, with potential for more, well, that's the other thing that pisses me off about Eternals. It sets itself up for Eternals 2.
Yeah.
I remember seeing people say Eternals is it's just the first standalone Marvel film. Also, Superman's in Eternals for some reason.
Don't they mention it or something? There's a Superman reference, isn't there?
And that's just confusing on so many different levels. But like they have this, they set it up for Eternals 2 at the end. It's weird. The ending of Eternals feels like a post-credit scene.
Isn't Harry Styles in Eternals?
Yeah.
I know he's in it, and like but that's the thing with Eternals is like you've just got this problem of like. Like they were obviously trying to like make this out like it's the prestige film, and I think that's actually why it got that rotten score on Rotten Tomatoes. Is because a lot of people went into it expecting a prestige Marvel film, whereas what they got was an MCU film with a bit more artistic flair to it.
The sun.
Yeah, it's a Marvel film that's actually outside. Like that's really it. Like it wasn't this like game-changing prestige film that they all made it out to be.
Yeah.
And I think people expected that, and that's why it got negative reviews.
Yeah.
That's that's when I saw that I was like, okay, that's exactly why.
Yeah.
I don't think it was because I know some people had their reason and be like, oh, it's because of this, it's because of that, it's because the critics are sexist. It's like, no, it was because they were told that it was a different film.
Yes.
When what they got was something that wasn't all that different, really.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a bad film. It is a straight up a bad film. Deserves bad reviews. But it is not the worst Marvel film.
No, yeah, I'm sure it's not.
Margin.
I'm sure it's better than Thor: The Dark World, and
it's not even the worst Marvel film to come out this year because Black Widow exists.
Black Widow.
Do you want to talk about Black Widow?
Do you want to talk about Black Widow?
I'll happily talk about Black Widow.
I can talk about Black Widow. I barely remember it because
Same.
I kind of erased it, but we can talk about Black Widow.
We can try and talk about Black Widow.
Let's talk about Black Widow.
Genuinely, I think Black Widow is the worst Marvel film since Thor: The Dark World.
When I watched it, I was like, you know what? That wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But I think it was largely because it was the first MCU film I'd watched since like the pandemic, and all that, and I'd seen one for a while, but like over time, my opinion on it is fucking gone. Like it is down in the shit. I still need to update like my rating of it on Letterboxd because I think I have it as a 3, but like I have it as a 2.
Yeah.
No, it's shit.
It's terrible.
Really not great. Like it's like Florence Pugh's good in it. I like her in it, and like
it almost pisses me off that she's good in it.
Yeah.
Like she's because obviously the thing. Look, I have a couple reasons why I really hate Black Widow. The first one is that it is the single most typical MCU film. Like, if you were to ask me what I think an MCU Black Widow film will be, it is that. Down to a T. There's not, like, I could have written that screenplay in, like, a day.
Yeah.
If you just ask me, what is a Black Widow film? Okay, she, like, I don't know, meets her, like, long-lost family or some shit.
Yeah.
There's a second Black Widow. The villain's Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Like that, it's all the beats you would expect from a Black Widow film.
No, yeah, and that's the problem as well. It's like it's all the beats you expect from a Black Widow film, and it's a Black Widow film that came out at the worst possible time.
Yeah,
because you've made a Black Widow film like after she's died.
Yeah.
Like, she's dead. The film is set, like, I think, in between, like, if like Civil War and Infinity War.
Something like that.
Like, and it's like, you've set it between them, you've released it after Endgame, the character's dead, so, you know, and it's like, you've done all of this, and it's like, but for what? Like, it felt like
to set up Florence Pugh's character.
Yeah, but it's like, alright, well, you can do that in a different way.
Yeah.
It's the thing, like, there's other ways you can do it. You don't need to make, because that's the thing, like, Black Widow felt like the cinematic equivalent of, like, a filler episode.
Yes.
Where it's like, there is no reason, like, for that to exist. You could skip that and you wouldn't lose nothing.
Yeah.
Like, even, you know, okay, it sets up Florence Pugh's character, but you'll figure it out.
Exactly, like, literally.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's not, and that's the problem with the film, and the effects are terrible. The end and fight scene is awful. That one scene where Florence Pugh, like, puts, like, the blade in, like, the thing, and then she goes, like, and it's like, it looks horrific.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe that was, like, because that's the thing, is they have no excuse.
They don't.
Because the film was finished, I think, before the pandemic, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So they had time to go in and fix it, like, any effects.
But they didn't?
So the effects look like shit.
They do?
They look horrific.
Yeah. I can't... The film, it frustrates me on the basis that it is essentially a film that's meant to be about this character who hasn't had a film yet, who, you know, is dead. So, what would be great? Okay, let's do a tribute film to them, basically. Let's do one big last hurrah for Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
And so, but obviously Marvel decide, no, because this isn't setting up fucking Avengers 5. So what we need is a film about this new character, Black Widow 2.
Yeah, like it's the thing. It's like, even as like a Black Widow tribute, it's like there's still like it still just doesn't work.
No.
Like, it's still because it's focused so much on other characters.
Yeah.
And then like it just doesn't even like it doesn't really have anything to like cement like the legacy of that character.
No.
Besides like the after credit scene, which even then that's more so just setting up something.
It's literally just setting up Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Which is cool, I guess. It's Black Widow is it doesn't take a single risk. In the slightest.
Yeah. And that's it's just another film.
Yeah.
Like, it's annoying that they didn't just release that on Disney Plus.
Literally.
Like when everything went down, because they kept delaying it, and it came out and it was just. I
watched it and then I forgot about it.
Yeah, exactly. It was like all of that. And it's like they could have just released it on Disney Plus last year, and literally like nothing would have changed.
Yeah, exactly.
It probably would have been better to do that, so they wouldn't have to fucking delay everything else.
Well, exactly. The fact that it was that much. Actually, I think that's part of what might have even like killed my my opinion of it, is that it was the film that we spent a year waiting for.
Yeah, like we spent way longer. I remember seeing the trailer everywhere for so long.
Yeah.
Like, and also, it's the film that kind of ruined a lot of the timelines.
Yeah.
For what they were doing, like stuff got switched around. Like the after credit scene of Black Widow with
the one lady from Hawken and the Winter Soldier. Hawken is a who.
Yeah, and like, but I think if I remember right, her first appearance was meant to be for Black Widow, and then I think, and then that
makes sense.
Because in Falcon, she just kind of shows up. Like, she just shows up for a scene, and you're like, who's this? And she doesn't appear again.
Yeah.
Whereas in Black Widow, it makes a little bit more sense, because the way she comes in, it's been more of an introduction.
Yeah, it's an actual character introduction.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, this is this person. But then in Falcon and Winter Soldier, she's like, hello.
Hi, John Walker, would you like to be a superhero?
Yeah, and it's like, but who are you?
Why do I had to Google who she was.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah. Because, like, I mean, I recognised the actress. I was like, oh, it's her. But that's it.
Yeah.
But I don't know who she was. And it's like, and that's what was frustrating. It was like, the Black Widow being delayed caused, like, issues with the rest of the films. They all have to, like, in the shows as well, they all have to get pushed about. And, like, you know. And if I remember right, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was meant to be first.
It was, yeah.
Oh, that was meant to be first, and then they went, no, we're doing WandaVision instead. They switched the order around, I think.
Yeah.
And it was like, now I actually do think that was the smartest choice.
I agree.
I think Wanda made more sense than Falcon, but like that still rocked the MCU a bit, because they're so committed to this specific order and these release dates, And
Yeah.
when they start moving around, and I think that's why this phase has been really weird so far, and it feels a bit messy. Is because so much stuff's been changed and switched and blah blah blah, and doing all this.
I'm a bit scared because obviously like Miss Marvel got delayed like quite. I don't know when it's supposed to come out now.
If I remember right, it was meant to be like. I'm sure it was meant to be out like in between What If and Hawkeye.
Yeah,
Or if
that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it was meant to be that, and yeah, or I don't know whether maybe Hawkeye and Miss Marvel were going to be on at the same time, or they were meant to be like quite close to each other, and then I don't know what's going on with that. That seems to have just been like looking.
Miss Marvel is that show is like I'm excited for what. Sure, why not? Let's say I'm excited for Miss Marvel hypothetically.
Yeah.
But the way they're doing that show, like they changed the powers. Like I'm not someone who cares about comic accuracy.
Yeah.
This is a film, you are a writer, you are doing your own interpretation of it.
Yeah, it's fine.
But I do find it quite weird how dramatically they're changing it.
They're basically completely changing the character.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to figure out what the intent is of that. Like, why are they changing it so much?
Like, I guess, if Miss Marvel was released during the Infinity Saga, and the whole thing was that they were connecting her to an Infinity Stone...
Yeah.
I'd get that. But if this is somehow like a multiverse thing, then I just can't be arsed with that.
I just can't be asked with the multiverse in general, to be honest. I can't.
It feels so
tired
lazy.
of
It feels so lazy, the whole multiverse thing, because it's like, if it feels like they ran out of ideas, and now they're like, well, let's just go back to the films that everyone else made, and just take random characters from them, and then we'll like show them off, and they'll be like, whoa, because No Way Home did not need to be a multiverse film.
See, the thing with No Way Home is I'm looking forward to it.
Sure.
Because I don't hate Tom Holland.
Yeah.
I don't mind his character.
Yeah.
And it'll be nice to see some of these old villains again.
Yeah, I'll see Tobey Maguire, I'll have an erection, and that'll be it all sorted.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, I will cry when I see Tobey.
Yeah, exactly.
Because and that's just going to get to me. But I think, I kind of wish Tom Holland got his own trilogy first.
Yes.
Before they
same.
immediately gave him the Spider-Verse film.
Yes.
Like, give him 3 films and then maybe do a Spider-Verse film afterwards.
Yes.
Because I think that's the problem with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, is he's never been able to just be himself.
No, not at all.
They've always, like, Homecoming, he's basically Tony Stark Jr.
Yeah.
Far From Home, that's probably the closest he's gotten.
Yeah.
With that one.
Because, I like Far From Home.
Yeah, I actually really liked it. I liked it far more than... Because Homecoming, I like part of Homecoming.
Yeah.
Like, I like the Vulture and I like all
that.
that.
Vulture's good.
But I didn't like a lot of the Iron Man, I'm a mentor to you, Peter. Like, I didn't like that stuff at all. Like, I found all that stuff really stupid and that just wasn't the Spider-Man that I'm into.
Yeah.
Personally. No Way Home, I think, looks alright. I don't want the multiverse thing. I just don't want it just to be, cameos.
Yes.
Remember this character, remember this. Here they are, in a cameo. And it's like, I'd want them to use the multiverse. If they're going to do the multiverse, use it in a way that's actually effective.
Yeah.
And that could actually be really interesting.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
if they're not going to do that, then they're just going to be like, remember this person, then I'm not interested in that.
No, exactly. I want them to... Like, I'm fine with the multiverse being a thing, I guess. Though I do think it's so cheap of them to use it as a fan service thing. I think that's just... It's like I've heard people say that's how they're going to introduce the X-Men into the universe. It's going to be like it's going to be the old X-Men. It's like, why?
Why not just
the old stuff was generally like you look at old superhero films. Where are we going to stop? Are we going to have Ben Affleck come back as Daredevil?
I wish.
I do wish.
I wish. I want Colin Farrell to come back as Bullseye.
I think that would be fantastic.
I want Nicolas Cage to come back as Ghost Rider. Like, please.
You say that. Ghost Rider 2, banger. So I'll happily take Nicolas Cage coming back.
That's because they got the fucking crank directors to do it. That's why. Because they got them to do it, which is like such a bizarre choice. But
banger. It's a banger.
The MCU wouldn't fucking do that.
No. The MCU have Ghost Rider already, don't they? In the fucking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that no one watched.
I did. I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
You were the only person.
I'm the only person. I didn't finish it.
Did you get to the Ghost Rider stuff?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
I watched the first 5 seasons.
Wasn't Phil Coulson Ghost Rider at some point. And that's like the funniest thing to me.
What it was, if I remember right, Ghost Rider's in it.
Yeah.
It's a different Ghost Rider. It's different.
Probably Ray's, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the newer version of Ghost Rider, I think. I think Coulson, like... I don't remember. I think, like, Coulson's not Ghost Rider, but he has the Ghost Rider thing in him. Because he took it, like, away from Robbie Reyes, I think, because... so he could live like a normal life, if I remember right. I could be completely wrong on that. So he's not actually Ghost Rider.
In Avengers 5, is Phil Coulson going to turn up as Ghost Rider?
Oh, I fucking wish. I was really hoping that the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. were going to show up in the MCU.
Yeah.
Because that show genuinely is really good.
Okay.
Like, it genuinely was really good. The first 5 seasons of that, like, season 1's a bit rough to start with, but once the Winter Soldier tie-in gets into it, it fucking, like, it just goes on a whole other level. It's like genuinely really good, and like, and they were really doing something interesting with the show. And then because the 5th season was when Infinity War happened, and I remember everyone was thinking, like, was that season going to end with the snap? Because of, you know, it didn't, and that was kind of the confirmation of this show is no longer canon anymore.
That's so weird.
Because there was a whole thing of, like, the people who ran the Marvel television department and Kevin Feige didn't get on.
Yeah.
So for a couple of years, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. was the MCU like TV show, and then they lost it because of studio disputes and all that, and it was a shame because it genuinely was a really good show because the Netflix shows have the exact same problem.
Are they canon? I have no idea.
They were, but just like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they kind of lost it.
Are they still, or are they like no longer?
I think with the Netflix ones, they may just say yes, they are now, just to make it easy.
Well, isn't fucking Charlie Cox meant to be in Spider-Man?
Well, that's the thing, and if Vincent D'Onofrio's in Hawkeye, then I would say it's probably easier to do that, whereas Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will be a bit tougher.
Yeah.
To do that, like, without like
Coulson
not
comes
saying
back
it.
as Ghost Rider.
That'd be fucking great. But like that will be a bit tougher to do.
Yeah.
Like, because there's been like world-shattering events in that show.
Yes.
And stuff, and like, but I feel like
multiverse.
Yeah, that could be that could be their way. That's the thing. That could be their way of all of the unsure, like the uncertainties with the MCU. That could be their way of doing it. Go out to multiverse.
Fucking Venom's in the MCU now. That's awesome. Yeah. That's so cool.
So Let There Be Carnage is technically an MCU film.
Yeah.
It basically is, isn't it?
I've seen the post-credit scene like 5 times because I've been trying to figure out what the fuck happened. I think what's meant to happen is that Venom's eating a bowl of cereal and Doctor Strange does his thing, like the whole thing he does in No Way Home, and that transports Venom to...
I guess that's the idea. It's like, it basically... So the film, that after credit scene takes place during No Way Home.
Yes.
And then that happens, and then...
I think...
That's what I'm assuming.
And now Venom's in the MCU?
Yeah, and he may be in No Way Home.
And so you know all that world building we did in Venom 1 and 2? I say it's Venom 1 and 2. But you know all that world building we attempted in Venom 1 and 2? Forget about that. Who cares about that? He's in the MCU.
That's the thing, because Sony has all these plans of doing a whole new universe. Because I think Morbius was going to be that as well.
That's the film.
Yeah.
It's probably coming out soon.
You know what? I remember when Morbius, the trailer for that came out.
Yeah.
The first trailer, and Michael Keaton's in it.
Yeah.
As Vulture. Well,
yes.
At least assuming he probably is. And there's also a shot where like Morbius is walking and there's the Sam Raimi Spider-Man suit.
Yes.
Is in the background. And I remember looking at that because it's a shot from the game. Because it's the promotional shot of when they put the Raimi suit in the game. I could tell by looking at it, and like, but I remember in the trailer he was there and I was like, whoa, Michael Keaton. Then a week later, no one brought that up again. No one talks. No one has mentioned that.
I forgot he was in the trailer.
That was a pretty huge reveal.
Yeah.
That was like a bit of like a, oh shit, like, is he Vulture? So does that mean that would technically is probably the first, if he is that was probably the first that was basically confirming that they were connecting them together.
Yes.
So that whole debate with Venom was like, well, no.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, like that whole debate with Venom was like, well, that probably didn't even need to be a debate because it seems like that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, if he's in that, then it seems like... So maybe, I'm assuming Morbius is probably in the MCU. If they're in this...
Maybe?
I assume...
Maybe?
That's the problem, though, is there's that uncertainty, but I don't...
The MCU's become so messy now.
It's just a mess. And
it's a mess. And because I think also they're confirming new stuff all the time, but all the stuff they're confirming is really random spin-off TV shows.
Yeah, like, isn't Agatha getting a spin-off?
Yeah?
Why? What can they possibly do with it that is going to be like...
I don't... But her song got views on YouTube, and so...
Like, she was popular. I remember that, but I was a bit like, why is she getting a show?
I think the difference now is the Infinity Saga felt like an actual storyline that felt like they had ideas for. As much as I didn't like the vast majority of those films, it felt like they actually had like a coherent idea.
No, yeah, exactly. I think that's the problem. Is it's like that Infinity Saga, like, it genuinely did feel like it was planned out.
Yes.
Obviously, things changed, but it seemed like they had a bit of a concrete plan.
Yes.
But then now, I feel like they're scrambling to figure out what they want to do next.
Yes.
Whereas this new saga, I don't even think you really put a name on it.
Exactly. We don't know. We don't know.
Now, on the one hand, that could be exciting because you don't know like what it is, but I feel like they don't know either. And that's the big problem. Is like, I don't know what's going on, but if they don't know, then there's a problem.
Phase 4 feels like the buffer phase.
Yeah, it feels a bit like a Marvel trying to like figure out what they want to do next.
Yeah.
Because it's like Thanos was a pretty big villain to do. Did he go bigger or did he go smaller? I basically would say go smaller and just focus on characters, focus stories.
Yes.
We don't need to like save Galactus for years down the line if you're going to do it. Because Galactus, you can't go any higher than that.
Yes. Like
Galactus is, because, you know, he fucking eats planets. Like, you can't go higher than a man who eats planets.
Literally. And like, well, it was meant to be Kang the Conqueror, innit? Who's the current villain. Because Loki, the Loki TV show, that was the whole thing. I will say, as much as we've been shitting on WandaVision for its shitty reveals, that was the one thing I thought Loki got right, was that its reveal was an actual reveal. Yeah, like,
so I've only seen half of Loki.
He's a fake fan.
Yeah, I'm a fake fan. I've only seen half of it.
Yeah.
I liked it, but I just couldn't, like, get the motivation to watch the second half. I thought it was fine.
Loki is a weird one. Loki is the first MCU... Obviously, all the MCU is fan fiction, technically. Which is weird to think about. But Loki is the first one where it actively feels like fan fiction. It feels like someone wrote their fanfic about Loki, where he gets with their self-insert OC.
I mean, that's the thing with Loki, is like, I was kind of annoyed that we were even getting a show, because I really liked in Infinity War that they killed him off.
Yes.
In like the first 5 minutes.
Yes.
I was like, that's ballsy. That's really cool.
It's like, have we got a fucking Heimdall show now? He's dead. Let the man stay dead, please.
Like, even that, Heimdall's Idris Elba, a really good actor, and you wasted him on that.
Yes.
Like, Doctor Strange, they got Matt Mikkelsen to play the villain in that.
Like, one of the best actors working.
Yeah, and they got him, and like, now they're fucked, because unless you do Multiverse, they can't bring him back.
Yes.
Because like, for Doctor Doom, he would have been perfect.
Literally.
Perfect Doctor Doom.
Or just give him a role. Literally let Matt Mikkelsen just fucking come on the set and improv.
Yeah.
He'll probably still be better than half the actors there.
Just let him play a guy.
Exactly.
Like, literally
play his character from another round. He's just pissed off his head the entire film.
He's just dancing like through the whole fucking film. Like, but they don't. But that's the thing, is like Jude Law is in Captain Marvel.
Who remembers Captain Marvel? Or like Jude Law being in that film?
Like, Jude Law, he's a really good actor.
Yeah.
You waste him on this random guy.
Yeah.
Who's like got nothing really like of value to as a villain. Like, he's just not interesting.
Christian Bale's meant to be playing the new villain in the new Thor film.
Oh yeah, he is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh god, how's that gonna work?
How are they doing? Like, how have they got Christian Bale and have gone like, let's make him a one-off villain? How do you go like? You're Marvel. You have like the money to be able to like basically make a security prison for big name actors.
You see that's the thing, is like, I don't know. Christian Bale is an amazing actor.
Yeah.
But it's like, get him in the MCU, that's fine, but don't waste him.
Exactly.
They'll make him a one-time role.
Exactly.
Like a one-time villain. If they do that, then they've just wasted one of the best actors.
Exactly. Like, make him fucking Beta Ray Bill for all I care. But, like, as long as he can't... It's just give him a role that actually has a bit of meat to it.
Yeah, and that's the problem, is they don't do that.
Yeah.
They'll cast actors, or they'll cast certain people, and it's like, they're great, but you're not giving them the role that they need
Exactly.
to show that off.
It feels more like they're just casting based on what can get the biggest headline.
Yeah.
Which I guess is what casting is. But a lot of the time now, and like blockbusters and stuff, because really Dwayne The Rock Johnson should not be getting the jobs that he's getting.
I can't believe he's not in the MCU.
I can't believe he's not in the MCU yet. He's
Fair.
off doing fucking...
He's doing
Black
DC,
Adam,
yeah,
it's
he's doing
called.
Black Adam, but like I'm just shocked like he hasn't been in the MCU.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that makes complete sense.
Yeah. Same with Ryan. I mean, obviously Ryan Reynolds is technically in the MCU now because Deadpool is, but also...
Deadpool's gonna be weird.
It will.
Don't think that. I figure that is MCU, but I think it'll be a multiverse kind of thing.
Yes.
It's like he's in the MCU, but he will not change anything in the MCU. They
Yes.
will not be connected in that sense.
Yes.
It's gonna be like he kind of exists, but he's not a part of it.
He's sort of
He's in his
there.
own bubble.
Yeah.
Because they won't do a full on MCU rated R film. They just won't do it.
I would say if they're going to do Deadpool, they should do... Because there's like Disney Plus Star, isn't there? Like the adult Disney Plus where the porn goes. So if we put...
Yeah.
Like, make a Deadpool Star series or something.
See,
So
that's the thing.
Doing his own thing.
Yeah, like, you could do that. I mean, because, like, Blade, that's
Yes.
they're doing. That's PG-13, apparently.
That's going to be weird.
How can you have a film about the guy that, like, chops off, like, vampires' heads and make it, like, fucking 12A? Like, you can't do that. You just can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
that...
Oh, Blade was in Eternals.
Was he?
He was in the post-credit scene. He was a voiceover, like, because Kit Harington plays Black Knight in the film, or at least he plays the character who's supposed to become Black Knight. And so the post-credit scene... so the first post-credit scene is Harry Styles. Everyone was losing their mind at Harry Styles. I was losing my mind at Patton Oswalt being the voice of Harry Styles' sidekick.
That's also the voice of the
Yeah,
sidekick.
I was more excited for Patton Oswalt than I was for fucking Harry Styles.
I see the thing with the Harry Styles thing, it's really funny because that got spoiled
Yes.
by a critic that just randomly
So
went,
funny.
oh, by the way, Harry Styles is in this. It's like, okay, like, it's like, but I don't know how that happened. Like, did Disney just not, like, did they just accidentally not put on the NDA that, like, you can't mention that he's in this film? Because then critics were like, oh yeah, he's in it. It's like,
That's just, it
was so bizarre. It was such like a weird, like, how did that come out
I don't get,
the way it did?
Yeah.
Because, like, Disney are usually pretty tight on, like, spoilers.
Yeah, exactly.
They will not, like, they will be like, you know, do not spoil this film.
I mean, No Way Home, excluding.
Which, that's the thing with No Way Home, is there's been all those leaks.
Yes.
But I think, a lot of it's more Sony than Marvel.
Yeah.
Because I think they handle the marketing, Sony,
Yeah.
than Marvel. Because that's the thing, because they've not officially announced that Toby and Andrew are in it.
Yes.
I don't want them to.
I don't want them to either.
Like, if they are in it, great. Don't show them.
Yeah.
Keep it a secret. Like, I don't need to see them. Like,
No, not at all.
You know, showing them to me is like showing the portals
Yeah.
at the end of Endgame.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to see that. Even if you think it's gonna happen, let it be a surprise.
Yes.
And I've been worried because I was like, because when all this was coming out, I was like, okay, either Sony's gonna go all in and it's gonna be constant all over the posters and trailers, or they're gonna not show them.
Yeah.
It was like either or. None of the merchandise leaks have got them in
Yeah.
it, which to me is interesting.
I saw one picture of, like, in some cinema bookings, they're on the cast list.
See, that's... Yeah.
But you gotta wonder if that's more of the cinema's fault than it is.
That's usually the cinema, because I've seen cinemas also put posters up for No Way Home, but it's fan posters with Toby and Andrew in it. Like, it's because cinemas are typically... A lot of people who do that probably don't know.
Yeah.
Or they're probably getting a cast, because, like, something like that, I don't think they would be in a cast list.
No.
Like, I feel like the way that... Because that's the thing is, leaks have happened, but...
We've seen pictures.
See pictures.
We've seen Andrew Garfield break down on TV from being asked about No Way Home.
I feel so sorry for him.
Yeah.
I
same.
feel so sorry for him because he has been doing that press tour for that film.
Yeah. The
And-
tick tick boom.
Yeah, and like
It's alright.
And I don't like musicals. So
That's he can sing.
It's also Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I stay away from him.
Best thing he's done because he's not in it.
That's a plus.
It's obnoxious. I don't know why we're talking about Tick Tick Boom, but it's to quickly summarize my thoughts on Tick Tick Boom, the most important MCU film.
Yeah.
It's
multiverse.
It's probably in there.
If you think about the multiverse, technically everything.
This video's in the MCU right now.
Sallow is in the MCU. Come and See is in the MCU.
Oh my god. But Tick Tick Boom, it's like the directing. So the thing Lin-Manuel Miranda did is the worst part of it.
Well, because it's Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Exactly.
That's why.
But like, fucking Andrew Garfield is the best part. He can sing. I hope in No Way Home that I don't care if it feels so out of place. If Andrew Garfield, like everyone around him's dying or something, I want him to like bust into a musical number.
He just starts like a fucking musical number. Just,
I want him
halfway
to.
Through.
Well, there was a Spider-Man musical, wasn't there?
Oh, the one that Bono was a part of, and like it was a fucking disaster.
Yeah, and it like was like the worst Broadway show ever. I want to bring that back with Andrew Garfield. Movie adaptation. That's my new life goal, is to direct a movie adaptation. I don't care how old Andrew Garfield is. He's going to be in that film.
Old man.
Exactly.
Old man Andrew Garfield's doing the fucking Spider-Man role.
You know how we have Logan?
Yeah.
We'll call this one Parker.
Honestly, a part of me wishes they do, going back to No Way Home.
Yeah.
A part of me kind of wishes that if they are in this film, that they do a Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire.
Yes.
As a slightly older Peter Parker.
I would like that.
That would be right, because we've not seen that really. Like a Peter Parker that's like maybe like close to his 50s.
Yeah.
Still being Spider-Man.
Yes.
Like
I would like that.
That would be sick. Like we've never seen that. Like really, I don't know if there's even been comics about it. Really. I'm sure there has been, but
I remember the era of Spider-Man comics that I read. I remember he was like the CEO of Parker Enterprises or something along those lines. And I would be so intrigued to see a film about that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Where like he's maybe like a CEO or he's
bring Alfred Molina back, do something superior Spider-Man related for the crack. I don't know.
Yeah, like there's loads that they can do. Like I think if they wanted, I'd prefer that than Amazing Spider-Man 3.
People are like getting so like hyped on we're gonna get the Amazing Spider-Man universe back, and that's the thing about the fucking the rumors and the expectations. People are now so set that No Way Home is going to be like, we're bringing all the old Spider-Man universes back. No, fuck are they? Andrew Garfield needs to go and win an Oscar. He doesn't need to fucking play Spider-Man for the next 10 years.
Yeah, because I mean, that's the thing. Like, I feel like if they ever did anything like that again, it'd be a one-time thing.
He might be in the Sinister Six film. Yeah,
they might do something like that. But I feel like they've probably told, if they are in this film, they've probably said to them, okay, you guys are doing this. But but that's it. Yeah. Like, we're not going to call on you to do a film. They may in the future. They might leave that door open. Yeah. So, just because a Spider-Man 4, or even a Amazing Spider-Man 3, they're going to make money.
Oh, absolutely.
They'd be huge money makers.
Absolutely.
Like, because maybe that's what they kind of want to do with No Way Home, is kind of establish that. If they are in it, which it seems like they are.
Yeah. Well, it's like the fucking lizard shot.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, he's obviously getting punched. Yeah, by someone,
and they just edited him out. I don't know how that went through their heads. This they won't be able to tell.
Well, that's the thing, 'cause it's not in the trailer. It's like it was in a different country. Yeah, trailer. It was like so I think that it must have been a fuck up. Yeah, they must have that trailer must have not been finished. Mm-hmm. Like with that, or they still had that been in. That must have been like the very, very, very last thing that they cut or something. Yeah. And like, because I think the rest of the trailer is like virtually the same. It's just that one shot goes on like 2 seconds longer than all of the other ones, and you can obviously see. Yes. Yeah. Now maybe it could be different. Maybe it might be 3 Tom Hollands. Which, because that's a part of me kind of wishes that they're not in the film, just so I could see the disappointment.
It would be quite entertaining.
That would be so funny.
Well, it's like, I remember seeing people say, like, oh, it'll be Zendaya becomes Spider-Gwen.
See, I remember I did see someone leak an image where it was supporting that it was them, that it's Ned, Peter, and MJ are the 3.
That would make more sense,
and there was a leaked shot of each of them in a different suit. And maybe that's completely fake, But I remember seeing that and thinking, if that is what it is, if that's what like they say by like, because that's the thing, is like that still supports the lizard getting punched. Maybe they don't want to spoil that part.
Yeah.
That there's a fight at the end with 3 Spider-Man, but they're not.
The Spider-Man they won,
Yeah, it's the other people, because to be fair, Ned lost a lot of weight.
Yes.
He's lost a lot of weight for this role, and he was told to lose weight for the film.
It's, now you've said that, it actually does make me feel like that's probably what will happen.
I don't.
It can't be.
Yeah, no. If they do that, see, because that's the thing, is like they can't. They can't.
It's the same as the Ralph Boner thing. It's like, surely a writer has to realise.
Yeah.
What they're like, and the marketing team has to realise what they're setting up to happen.
Well, yeah, because they're constantly going like the multiverse has expanded. They're constantly saying that in like the marketing. So it's like, okay, so they're obviously acknowledging a multiverse. All of the villains that are in this are from the other films.
Yes.
So surely it's like, okay, well, if they're all in this, then maybe like maybe the Spider-Man will be there.
Ooh.
But to be fair, it seems like they might not be the exact same people as they were in the other films.
Yeah.
As well, which, I mean, I hope that's the case, because if they were the exact same, then how the fuck are they doing Doc Ock? Because he sacrificed himself at the end. Is there going to be like a hand?
Well, I don't think he's meant to be a particular villain in this one. It doesn't seem like.
I think what the kind of, because like I know like there was like a part where he said like, you're not Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And like it's also people feel like, oh, like why is he saying that?
Yeah.
But it's like, so now either that could be he's thinking Tobey Maguire, or maybe there's another, I don't know, like that's the thing, we don't know. It's like how are they doing it? Because they've got similar designs that they had in the films, but they haven't been outright clear on, are they from that universe? They've kept that like very like, you know, tight-lipped.
Yes.
They're not saying that. I know Jamie Foxx has been a bit weird about it. Because when they were talking about him, he did post an image on his Instagram, and the image had 3 Spider-Man in it.
Cool. People have... Yeah, I definitely think they'll be in it, and like... I mean, I don't think that's... So obviously people, like, the whole thing is, it'll be a good film if they're in it, it'll be a bad film if they're not.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a bad film either way.
It's going to be a mess.
Yeah.
It's good, because we don't know how long it is. I know some people will be like, oh, it's going to be like, it's going to push 3 hours. I have seen someone saying it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, I believe that more so.
I believe that, but I also don't think that's enough time.
No. To reset up Toby and Andrew.
They need to do that. They need to establish a lot. There's a lot going on in this film.
Yes, there's so much.
That's not enough.
It is not.
Like, because when you think that's also going to include credits. Like, there's probably going to be fucking, 10 minutes.
It was like Eternals is, 2 hours and 37 minutes? 17 minutes of that is credits.
The Venom films are quite short, and I remember when Let There Be Carnage, the runtime of that came out, and they were like, oh, it's 90 minutes. The people were like, it's 90 minutes?
That's the best decision they could have made.
And it's like, but then I was thinking, if that was 90 minutes including credits...
Yeah.
Like, there's like 10 minutes of credits. This film is like 80 minutes. Like, what? Like, that is so short. Like,
yeah.
But then I realised, like, the first Venom film, without that stuff at the end, it's 90 minutes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, so they managed. I mean, I don't like the Venom films, but I guess they told. But that's the thing. It's like, that's a very simple film. This No Way Home is cramming a lot into it.
A lot.
And it's like, I don't know how they're going to realistically be able to cover everything in that runtime. And even that is quite a long runtime for a lot of films. But to me, I'm like, I assume it might push maybe closer to Endgame. Maybe.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think, the thing is, I just think, I mean, first of all, the second trailer they released, I hated that trailer.
I didn't watch that. I skipped it because I skipped it because I was like, I don't know if they're going to be in it or not. And also, I just didn't have any interest in watching a trailer. It's so close.
No, it's
the film's so close to release, so I'm like, fuck it, like, I'll just wait.
It's the jokes in it that I just can't.
Or was it like Scooby-Doo this shit or whatever?
Yeah. And then it's like, then MJ's like, I know some magic words too, starting with please. It seems like the comedy seems to just be Peter, MJ, and Ned are just being really sassy. And I'm like, that's not particularly funny.
That's the problem with a lot of these films now. They're just not funny.
Yeah.
They're just not. And like, it's a shame because like they can be. The Guardians of the Galaxy films I think are really funny.
Yeah.
And Thor Ragnarok's quite funny as well.
Yeah.
Because they have good comedy writers. Whereas these ones are just not funny.
They're not funny.
And like Peter Parker quips.
Yeah.
Like, but the problem is when everyone else around him quips.
It loses that.
Yeah. Like, you know, Spider-Man being a jokester makes sense.
Yes.
That's who the character is. I wouldn't, you know, I don't want them to just completely dismiss that. But but like at the same time, if everybody's joking, if I was like making quips, then he's not. You've lost that character.
Yeah, he's not
You've lost
special.
like the uniqueness. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like I don't know. I mean, I feel like with this one, I don't think they're gonna explain the multiverse much in No Way Home. I feel like the same in that for Doctor Strange.
Yes. Yeah, I can believe that.
Like, I feel like this is kind of they're gonna go nuts on this one, and then Doctor Strange's like, okay, this is what it is.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't think they'll have time in No Way Home to explain it, and I feel like Doctor Strange is probably the better one to explain what it is than
they
Tom
couldn't
Holland.
fit that into No Way Home.
Yeah, because like Tom Holland, like, because I don't know, it's like because they seem to be directly connected to each other, both of them. It seems like so. I mean, because Doctor Strange is like, I just don't know what to think. We've not seen anything for it.
No, apparently, I remember the thing I saw was that Wanda fights someone from the Fox universe, and I'm like, okay, so it's going to be another fan service film.
Yeah.
Where we're going to have people saying, oh, Patrick Stewart will be Charles or James McAvoy, and it's like I just don't want I don't want any of that. I want an actual
film. I just want a film, please.
Like,
Kevin, I beg you, please just make a film.
And like Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is easily the best MCU thing I've seen this year.
I still need to watch it.
You do need to watch. You need to watch Shang-Chi. I think I wouldn't like go on a record to say it's particularly great,
but it's like probably the best because it's like it's just, you know, it seems like a classic MCU film.
Yeah. Like
just like, you know, MCU origin films not trying to be anything bigger than what it is.
Yeah.
It's just keep it to itself.
The third act is shit. The final fight is really bad. It becomes like really heavily CGI.
Why would they do that for a martial arts film? Like what Shang-Chi is trying to be.
And like the colours, like just the lighting is shocking. You can barely see what's going on.
It's because they planned like the fight scenes out so far in advance.
Yeah.
They planned them out basically before the film scripts even fucking made.
Which is ridiculous.
And it's like that they lose any, you know, you're just watching I'm watching a fucking Pixar film at that point because there's so much CG thrown at my face.
And that's the thing is the fight scenes in Shang-Chi that aren't the final fight scene.
Oh, they're really good.
They're really good.
Yeah, like they're really solid.
There's one where like it's the bus scene in particular. The bus scene's really good. And there's one where he like is on like the side of a wall, and with like, you know, like
the scaffolding.
Yeah, the scaffolding. Yeah. That's really good as well. And Tony Leung is the villain.
Yeah. Is
phenomenal.
Yeah.
He is the best MCU villain in my opinion. I mean, obviously there's like Thanos. Thanos is pretty cool. But I'd say like Tony Leung nails that role.
Yeah.
And Simuli, I think is his name. Simuli. Something along those lines.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
It's Shang-Chi, he's great.
Yeah, that's the thing, because like I think what let that one down was the trailers.
Yeah.
The trailers for Shang-Chi were shite. They were terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I saw the trailers so many times, and I'm like, this looks awful.
Yeah.
Because I remember like, loads of people saying loads of people kind of agreed with that. A lot of people were really underwhelmed by the trailers, and even the posters were terrible as well. And people were saying like it's a shame that a film that's quite decent.
Yes.
Is got such shit marketing.
Yeah.
It should, and like that's the thing is like, you know, Eternals kind of had that problem as well with the marketing, which is really poor.
Yeah, the trailers for Eternals were terrible.
They were mostly just sitting on a field, like for a lot of them. And it was
like that is the entire film.
And that is and it's like maybe that one was more accurate, but yeah, like you just don't like the way they marketed that film was atrocious, and it killed my interest for that film, and that's why I never saw it.
No, that's fair.
Like I want to watch it at some point. I probably will because I know everyone's like it is good.
It is good. It is. It's got like it's got decent comedy at times, and it's not like fantastically written, but it's
good enough.
It's good enough.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing with Shang-Chi. It's good enough.
It's fine. Like,
it's genuinely it's fine, and like I can say without having to like put an asterisk on it and say for an MCU film, it is good.
Yeah.
I would watch it again. I've seen it twice in cinemas, and I would watch it again, because it's fun. It's a fun way to spend 2 hours. Like Awkwafina's in it. I generally don't like her in
I
a lot
don't
of this
either.
stuff.
Yeah, I don't.
She was really good in The Farewell, but I generally don't like her particularly. But she was good in this. She was quite funny in this. I think I'm a bit confused about where they're going with her character, generally in the MCU. But I mean, I'm also just generally confused about the MCU at this point. But, but she is genuinely like good in the film. Like she is a lot better than I thought she would be, because I thought she was going to be a really annoying comic relief.
That's usually what she is now, and that's what's
Exactly.
frustrating about it. It's like in most of the films she's in now, she's just comic relief, and it's
Yeah.
like, but she's not particularly good comic relief. Like that, like Jumanji, like she was in that, and she wasn't good in that at all.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the best thing about Shang-Chi is that it ties into Iron Man 3, the real best Marvel film.
Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 is fucking great. Fuck you if you
Yes.
don't like Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3, like, genuinely,
Great.
like, people think I'm memeing when I say, like, Iron Man 3 is, like, my second favourite
It's
Marvel
great.
film.
It's really good.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's a really good film. I really like that. I love that Mandarin twist.
Yeah,
I
same.
think it's fucking genius for a Marvel film to do a twist
And then,
like that.
like, this one obviously Shang-Chi kind of revolves around the Mandarin twist a bit. And that, Ben Kingsley, I think, plays...
He's in
it. He's a pretty big character in it.
Yeah.
And, like, all this stuff in it rocks.
Yeah.
And if you know, I think Iron Man 3 and Shang-Chi, that's my favourite MCU 1 and 2 combo.
Yeah.
Because both of those films, they just both work. They know what they're trying to do, and they do it. And it's not like, and it's in Shang-Chi even, well, it's different, because I love, like, wuxia films. I adore them. And Shang-Chi is very much like B-Tech wuxia. It is, like, the single most, like, basic wuxia film. Like,
Yeah. It's basically, it's got like those inspirations.
Exactly.
Like, but it's still an MCU film.
But it's still creative enough with it, because it has those inspirations.
Yeah.
It has, actual, like, things in it. It's not that it's taking risks, but its fight scenes are at least creative.
Yeah.
In Eternals, they shoot laser beams at each other, and that's literally the only thing they do.
Oh.
So, like, I'd say Shang-Chi is... I wouldn't be surprised if I got to the end of Phase 4 and was still like, Shang-Chi was the best thing from Phase 4.
That's the thing. I mean, even when you look at what's coming out for Phase 4, a lot of it... I mean, for what I'm looking forward to, I like Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
I like him as a director, so I'm like, okay. I'm excited for that. Guardians, I like James Gunn, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the holiday special they're doing. Black Panther,
That just seems... I mean, it seems like the production of that is it.
The fucking nightmare it seems like that
Yeah,
production.
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I feel like that's gonna either get delayed or maybe even cancelled.
I wouldn't be surprised, or at least heavily reworked and
Cause,
like pushed back a phase.
Because that's because I don't know how they're gonna, because it's meant to be out next year if I remember right.
Well, I'll check. I think it is. Yeah, 2022.
I don't know how, because I feel like I'm sure it's meant to be out, like, what is it, like
November 11th, 2022, which is
less than a year.
Exactly. I don't think they're gonna. I mean, they're obviously still filming it, but like their filming is getting delayed constantly.
It's getting delayed, and they can't. And I think the film's basically been paused because what's her face can't go.
Yeah, that's it, right?
Yeah, she can't go because she isn't vaccinated.
But you know what that does mean? We might get Captain Marvel 2 a bit sooner. Fuck yeah. We love Captain Marvel 2. I mean, to be fair, Captain Marvel 2 I'm actually vaguely excited for. Because, at the very least, they're giving the character another go. They're 0 for 2. Yeah. But they're swinging for the fences again. And Miss Marvel's going to be in it. And I'm excited for her to be in the film.
It's such a shame that Brie Larson, who's a really good actress,
She's a fantastic actress,
is wasted on a character who's so fucking shit. Like, she's got nothing. Like, the worst part of Captain Marvel is Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, I really like Nick Fury was fucking boss in Captain Marvel. I loved all of his stuff, and I loved a lot of the stuff around that, but I hated Captain Marvel.
Yes.
She's just not an interesting character.
She's not.
She's way too overpowered to be really anything interesting. And she's just... Carol Danvers is just not interesting as a character.
It's weird because I so often criticise the fact that the MCU has too many quips and jokes. Captain Marvel needs more quips and jokes.
Yeah, because she's not... I feel like they didn't really nail who she was in that film.
Yeah.
And it's like 1 minute she's quippy, next minute she's like really serious. And it's like they couldn't get a balance.
No.
And it's just like...
And so it ended up just being a bit boring.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm genuinely intrigued to see, because I think, you know, if Captain Marvel 2, or the Marvels as they're calling it, if what they do is have her be like a mentor to Miss Marvel. Also, can I just say, I'm like excited for Miss Marvel purely just for the fact that the actress is like, one, like has a Letterboxd account, which is really big.
I actually didn't know that, does she?
Yeah, she does.
That's
It
cool.
is like the reviews are like pretty good in that. I mean, it's like the jokey reviews, but it's funny.
Yeah.
And like she's also just like, I mean, I think she's younger than me, if not the same age as me, and it's just some random actress they just hired on a Zoom audition.
Yeah, like that's...
And that's just the cutest thing in the world, and I
that's
really,
cool.
I really hope that like she just is amazing.
I think she'll be good. I just hope the show is good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm less confident about that because we're 5 shows in, and right now I'm not like Hawkeye is a show, and I'm definitely like and it's still probably my favorite of the 5.
My favorite, but I haven't seen Hawkeye. I've only seen WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and half of Loki. I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier the most.
See, I would agree.
Yeah, like I like it, but they needed to work more on like, because I do think the political side of that show is really good if they actually focused on it more rather than backing out like they did.
Yes.
And like the ending speech and stuff, which was terrible.
Yeah.
Like they needed, because I actually do think like the idea of like a black Captain America that was basically shoved to one side. Like that's a really interesting like avenue for them to go towards, but they don't do it.
No.
And like they don't go towards it. And there's ways that they can, and it doesn't help as well that the show just feels like a 6-hour MCU film than a show.
It should have been a film.
Yeah, like absolutely should have been a film.
Or easily, what they could have done: Eternals TV show, Falcon and Winter Soldier film, sorted.
I don't know why that wasn't a film.
I don't.
It's so bizarre to me. Like I don't know why that wasn't. Cause
it's if you had asked me what happens between episode 2 and 6, I literally couldn't tell you. Like, John Walker does some stuff. I think he's
the best part.
He is by far the best part.
Yeah, he was real. I loved him in it.
Yeah,
he was great, and I really liked that scene. I think it was episode 4 where he fucking kills that guy.
That is my like peak Phase 4 moment.
Yeah, to me, I was like, that's fucking sick. And I kind of wish the show was about him more rather than that weird plot about the revolution, like whatever the rebel group was called, with the British girl.
Where it's like the villain is someone with good ideals, but they just kill a few too many people.
Yeah, and then she becomes a super villain by the end. And she's like, I want to kill everyone. And that's like, where did this come from?
Yeah,
like,
that villain is terrible. Like I forget that villain exists.
And that's the thing, like that ruined the show.
Yeah,
because I think after that scene in episode 4, it goes all in on her.
Yeah,
like, and those last 2 episodes just flatline.
Exactly.
Because they're focusing on the shit that we don't care about.
Yeah,
like, she's just a shit villain.
I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier for me would probably be, I'd put it up there with Loki. I love self-obsessed fan fiction, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier has probably the most cool moments and the most interesting singular ideas that I can take away and go, you know what, this could work.
Yeah.
And the John Walker stuff I think does. I think what they do with him in episode 6 is a bit weak, but
yeah, but I also think that could have just because they couldn't like figure out what they wanted to do in time because I know COVID.
Yeah.
COVID did affect that show pretty
Yeah.
heavily, and I think that's why. Cause I think they had to cut out like a whole subplot in that show. Or,
Oh,
like,
wow.
I think the villain plot I think had to change pretty massively,
Okay.
and I think that's why it's kind of shit. It's because they just didn't.
That's fair.
Yeah, kind of. I think out of all of the shows, that one was affected the most.
Yeah.
Because I think WandaVision was like, I think WandaVision was nearly done by the time the
that makes
pandemic
sense.
happened, and I believe Doctor Strange was gonna be in WandaVision, but they cut it out because there wasn't time.
Okay.
And obviously, I think when they wanted to put him in, the pandemic happened and they couldn't get him in like in time. But Falcon and the Winter Soldier was like, yeah, like that second half, those last 2 episodes just they feel weird.
Yeah.
I feel like something went wrong during the writing, and it's just then it ends and the whole thing just feels like an advert for the next Captain America.
Yeah, which I guess it essentially is.
Yeah, because then the moment it ended, they were like, new Captain America film coming out like 2 years. It's like, why is that not a show? You just spend like 6 hours just setting up another film.
Yeah.
That's essentially what that was.
I mean, I guess Hawkeye, I'll give credit to on the fact I can't immediately tell what it's trying to set up. It feels like it's obviously what it's doing. Obviously, what it's doing is it's setting up Kate Bishop as the next Hawkeye,
which is fine. But I think if the show just stays as a pretty small scale thing, then that's fine. They can set that up. But also, if that show has like a season 2 and it stays on Disney Plus, it's just a show that just carries on. That's fine.
I'm fine for like Kate Bishop just to be like a character who she does not need a Kate Bishop film.
No, but
We do
like
not
she could
need
be in the
that.
show. Maybe Hawkeye, maybe like Jeremy Renner will eventually leave the show.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like it'll just become her show, but it'll still be called Hawkeye since that's basically who she is.
Exactly. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
Not all of them need to be mini. I mean, obviously it's like the Loki season 2.
Loki season 2. I think that was because I think they were going to do 12 episodes.
Okay.
And I think because of COVID, they couldn't do them. So I think it's a season 2, but it's more like season 1's like second half almost. But they're just treating it as a separate thing.
Okay.
I guess just because that one. I mean whether or not like they'll do more, I don't know. But like if I remember right, I feel like Tom Hiddleston said something once where like they said like there was 12 episodes written, and they only done 6. So it's like it seems like it might have been like that finale was more of a mid-season finale.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
The ending of Loki was something that really annoyed me.
Because isn't it like really talky? Isn't it like mostly like just people having conversations?
Well, I'm fine with that. To be fair, but it was this fact it spent this entire like season, like it being a season of television. Where you think because of it was supposed to be a miniseries, and so you're like, okay, so we're gonna have an actual functioning ending, and then there isn't.
And then the day the last episode came on, they were like, okay, season 2.
Yeah, and so it's like
year.
the big conclusion of season 1 is there's gonna be a season 2.
That's another thing as well. Is all these shows that they've announced now, some of these are gonna have second seasons. And then they've also got to factor them in as well. Yeah. Like, where's Loki season 2 in all of it with like She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, whatever else they're doing, like all of the other shows. Moon Knight, which granted, Moon Knight, I am looking forward to.
I am looking forward to that
because it's got Ethan Hawke and Oscar Isaac, 2 great fucking actors. The directors are pretty good as well, and it's like so. I'm like, okay, that one has potential to be fucking brilliant.
Yes.
If Marvel just let them do their thing. Just keep your hands off them and just let them do their thing. If they do that, then it could be fucking outstanding.
My fear for Moon Knight is it's going to be a setup for Blade.
Oh, you're probably not even wrong. It probably will. Will.
I think Blade has been confirmed to be in the series, I think. Or at least rumoured.
Well, because Blade is weird because they've announced Blade. Because Blade's been like Fantastic Four.
Yes.
Where no one knows where those are going to be. Like Fantastic Four, I assume Fantastic Four, because the guy who's doing it's the guy who's done the Spider-Man films. Yes. But they haven't like said what's going on, because they've said that there's going to be a new Tom Holland trilogy after no, it's going to be 6 of them now with Tom Holland. But including the one.
I thought that man wanted to become a landlord or something.
He said that recently, didn't he? He was like, yeah, I want to be a landlord.
Well, no, because he did an interview recently. He was like, I want to be a landlord and I want to stop playing Spider-Man when I'm 30. And then literally like a week later, they're like, Tom Holland, you're going to be playing Spider-Man for the next 10 years.
I wouldn't be surprised if he said that because he was trying to get more money.
Probably.
That's probably what it was. Probably a money thing.
Yeah. I'm sure he didn't want to live out his landlord fantasies.
Landlord Peter Parker, fucking like Peter Spider-Man to evict people.
I guess, you know, good for Tom Holland. His films are alright. Homecoming was fine. Far From Home was good.
I'm scared for Tom Holland now because I feel like if he's leaning too much into Spider-Man, he's going to have the problem of, cause he's been trying to be a leading man outside of Spider-Man and it's not going well. The Uncharted film looks shite.
The Uncharted.
Cherry, which was awful.
Chaos Walking.
That looked awful.
Chaos Walking was terrible.
That didn't even look like a real film.
Chaos Walking, genuinely... Oh my god, that film... no.
But that's the thing is he's been trying to get out of the Spider-Man thing a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's not working.
No.
I think that's why he maybe is doing these extra 3 films now. As a way to kind of like give himself... I mean, granted, if he just stopped, he'll be fine.
Yes.
Like, he's not going to like be struggling for, you know, he's not going to be, you know, looking at the wings on the table because he's like that, because he hasn't got any money. Like, he's going to, like, he will be fine because he's going to have all of that money that he got. But he obviously wants to be a leading man. But besides Spider-Man, he's not getting that.
No.
Because in Uncharted, he's just basically Peter Parker.
Yeah.
He's not Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
Nathan Drake, like, Mark Wahlberg is in it as Sully, but he's acting more like Nathan Drake than the rest of who's playing Nathan Drake in the, like...
That casting is so annoying. I never played an Uncharted game, so I don't entirely know, but I can definitely feel people's anger.
I've played them all.
Yeah.
And, like, you know what? It's like... The problem is that if they were going to do a young Nathan Drake, which he basically does look a bit like young Nathan Drake, Tom Holland, that's fine. But they've put, like, set pieces in the trailer for this one, in this film, from, like, the third game. And there's, like, there's a bunch of set pieces from the games that have kind of been, like, shoved in.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is this? Like, what? Like, are you... Because, to me, if it was a young Nathan Drake, do it. But I don't know what it is. It seems like they're doing a bit of everything.
Okay. That's random.
Yeah, it's odd. I don't know, but it seems like whoever's wrote it, it sounds like they haven't got a fucking clue. Like, it's not Tom Holland, like, recently, like, he said something in an interview, like, he basically, like, when he was making Uncharted, he's not happy with his role.
Okay.
Because he was trying to play to be this big macho man. But that's not what Nathan Drake is. Nathan Drake's like a Han Solo, Indiana Jones. Like, he's just, you know, like quipping and doing all that. He's not this fucking hard man who, you know, is like. But Tom Holland, it sounds like he's played him that way a little bit.
Okay.
He's tried to, and it's like so you haven't played the games. You haven't, like, looked at who this character is. So how, like, but that's the thing, is, like, he's doing this. I think Uncharted will probably do fine.
Yeah.
But he's going to need something eventually.
Yes.
Because right now, what he's got is, you know, he's got Spider-Man, but that's not going to last forever. No. Eventually, they're going to do a new Spider-Man. Eventually, Miles... I mean, I feel like they'll probably do Miles Morales next.
That has to be what they'll do. I wouldn't be surprised if the post-credit scene of No Way Home somehow sets up Miles
Whoever
Morales.
the next Spider-Man ends up being, it's probably going to end up being Miles. There won't be another Peter.
No, I can't imagine they'll do that.
They've already done 3. To be honest,
like part of the MCU or whatever.
To be honest, I was surprised he didn't do Miles for the MCU.
Yeah.
Because I figured that would have made sense, because now there's been a huge push for Miles and everything. There's been, you know, there's been games, like obviously Into the Spider-Verse. Miles is the main character. It's been Miles. I was pretty surprised that they didn't put him in the MCU. I feel like that, because to me, I was like, that makes more sense than to do another Peter.
I did put him in high school. I will always be the thing that frustrates me slightly, is that we've had however many Spider-Man films, and we like barely have left high school.
I know. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, they've never... Yeah, I mean, I feel like the oldest is probably the Sam Raimi one.
Yeah.
Because like I think it made Spider-Man 2 and then it's like right as he graduates, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Like whereas like Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi one, I think he's basically graduated school by the end of the first.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the second one, he's already doing his own thing.
Yeah.
Like he's in school for the first, and then it's very quickly gets past it.
We don't need to see more High School Spider-Man. And then they confirmed a fucking TV show about High School Spider-Man, and I'm like, okay, sure. I mean, it's gonna be like animated or whatever.
But that's the thing with that. That's what I was curious about with that show. Is that show in the MCU?
Maybe
because that's what I was wondering. Okay, so it was an animated show, but I don't know how is that gonna work? Are they gonna treat this? So is it gonna be like What If? Where it's like a multiverse. Oh yeah, you want to talk about What If? Talk about What If. I've not seen any What If at all.
So What If was another victim of COVID, and that one episode got shelved and was pushed to season 2.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things where it's like, this is an anthology show. And that is, first of all, good. Thank God. Let's have something standalone.
Yeah, because it's based on those comics. Which
Yeah.
is like, what if like this thing happened instead of what actually happened? Like that's basically
it's such a good concept for an animated Marvel show.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And so I was walked into What If and I was like, how the fuck are they gonna fuck this up? And they didn't, to be fair, for quite a while. The first episode is it's fine because they've got like, what if Peggy Carter was Captain America?
Yeah, and the other a Marvel Zombies one as well.
Yeah, the Zombies one is fine. See, What If's weird because none of the episodes have endings.
They kind of just stop.
Yeah, they just end, and I guess it kind of makes sense because a lot of this is obviously meant to be like, what if the villain wins? Essentially, a lot of them
are like that, aren't they? Yeah, a lot of them are more like what if. Yeah,
and you can't really have an ending in that case. Or at least, and so it kind of just stops.
Because the Marvel Zombies one, they're making a show for it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because Marvel Zombies, like, it's its own story, like in the comics as a whole, and I think that's basically what they're gonna do. Is just adapt them. Because like they were really pushing that Zombies one so much.
It's one of the better episodes.
Yeah, like there was so many. I remember like when it was coming out, that was like. They were always pushing that one. Zombies. Because it's probably the most recognisable out of every like episode in that season is Marvel Zombies. Everyone's been wanting something like that for a long time from the MCU. But yeah, I mean, I've heard it's alright. I mean, it's just. But then I remember like when I like saw more of What If and I saw that they were connecting them.
The ending of What If is the shittest thing I've seen all year.
What is the ending of What If?
So episode 8 is what if like Ultron won.
Yeah.
And Ultron basically like he just I think it's that he just gets Vision's body essentially, and he just kind of kills everyone.
Yeah.
And including like Thanos, he gets the Infinity Stones, and then he breaks the multiverse, and he kind of just starts attacking the Watcher. And the Watcher's like, I need to build a team to take down Ultron. And so he then visits all the multiverses that we've explored in What If, takes the main character from them, and then this is where the COVID thing plays into it. Because one of the because obviously the finale was finished before one of the actual other episodes.
Yeah.
So one of the characters he pulls
is from that shelved episodes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just a random. I think it's Gamora. It's like a Gamora who killed Thanos, and like all the other characters are these characters we've established and we know who they are. Which, by the way, defeats the fucking point of an anthology show.
Well, that's the thing. It's like that's not. I feel like a couple of nods here and there make sense, but if it's an anthology show, you don't want to connect them all together.
Exactly.
It's like you want to, like that. I mean, maybe if that's just a one-time thing that they've just done. But if the second season ends up,
and it will, and it'll bring back some of them as well.
They've already said that they want to bring them into the films, which I'm a bit like, how's that gonna work?
You know what? I'm fine if they did the anthology stuff and then maybe brought like one or two into the films later. That would be fine. I mean, it'd be weird because they'll have to go from animated to live action, and that'll be.
I think the Asian cast, like the Peggy Carter stuff, they could maybe do because she, I think that makes sense. I don't Marvel Zombies. You could maybe do the ones that are a bit more extreme.
Yes.
Like really pushing that. Yeah, those make sense. But then like ones where it's like like some of the smaller ones with like I don't know, so like some of the smaller scale ones. It's like what's the point?
There's a really good episode of What If Stephen Strange lost his heart instead of his hands, where it's basically just evil Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And that one is genuinely really good.
Yeah.
It's like it has like time travel shit. I'm a sucker for time travel generally, but it has a lot of like time travel stuff, and it's like actually like quite cool, and the animation's actually quite good. A lot of the other episodes are very just kind of there. It's like it's a lot of it's like you really couldn't think of a better idea than what if Thor was an only child.
Yeah, like there's those ones. I'm like, that's not that interesting.
No.
Like I was looking at that. I was like, there's actually some really good like issues of what if that could be like perfect for it.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like I thought like something would be really cool for like a Spider-Man one is like, what if like the radioactive spider that like bit Peter Parker? What if it bit someone else?
Like what if it bit Ned? What if it bit Flash Thompson?
Yeah.
Literally, all you have to do is
something like that.
Yeah. And I like the best ones for me generally were the ones where it was what if this character who isn't a superhero became a superhero, or what if it was this character who was another superhero became a different superhero.
Yeah.
And like the T'Challa episode it's a bit messy because it's trying to do a lot. But what it does is quite entertaining, and like you get to see this new world. The What If Thor one.
That's the one I think I remember seeing. No one liked it.
It's just Thor partying. It's essentially the plot of Thor. Yeah,
because like I remember like if you go on like IMDb, some of the episodes have got like really low ratings. And I think that's one of them because people just like there's just nothing interested in this one. This one's not like nothing to say.
It literally didn't need to exist. And then for some reason it's then still brought into the fucking big multiverse fight at the end.
It's just like they don't. It's an anthology and they need to stick to it.
Yeah.
Like, there's something exciting that can come from that. If these... I mean, because I always thought as well, like, something that would be cool is if What If had different animation styles for each episode.
Yes.
Or even had a blend of animation and live action.
Yes.
And maybe went between the two.
I didn't watch it, but there was this thing, the Star Wars thing.
The Visions, yeah. That, or I know The Matrix done that, like, when all the films were coming out, the Animatrix.
Yeah.
Where it was like eight short films.
For a second, I thought you said the Animaniacs.
The Animaniacs. It was like...
They should be in the MCU.
They should be in the MCU, actually. But it was like 8 anime films.
Yeah.
Like, by all of these different creators, but they were all like actually like in the universe.
Mm.
But they were all like, but they were all their own thing. You don't need to see them. But they all were unique. They all had different animation styles. They all had different... And that's what they should do with this.
That's actually what they should have done.
Completely embrace the anthologies and just go fucking nuts with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's an anthology.
Exactly.
If it's shit, then it's fine. Like, you just don't touch it again.
Yeah.
Like, you can just be like, oh, well, it is what it is.
But the MCU can't take risks.
Yeah.
It's too scared to say... Because obviously, I'm sure there was some fans theorising that it was going to become, they're all linked together. It's like... They can't take the risk to go, no, this is its own thing.
It's an anthology. The only way they can connect is like the odds, like little nod here and there. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Like maybe like the Watcher says something that like links to another one.
Exactly.
But there's no like there's no concrete link.
We could have like little teasing winks to the camera, like sometimes.
Yeah.
Like have like, I like literally one of the characters could say like, what if T'Challa did become Star-Lord in like one of the other episodes? Like just stupid shit like that. It doesn't need to literally be the Watcher goes and takes Star-Lord T'Challa and puts him in a big what they call like the Guardians of the Multiverse.
Yeah, I mean like Black Mirror shit now, but like they have an episode Black Museum, and that has a bunch of little nods to the rest of the episodes. Yeah, because it's a museum, and in the museum there's like things from the different episodes.
That's really cool.
But they're just references, they're just Easter eggs really. They're not necessarily, they haven't connected any of them together. They're all their own thing. Yeah. Like, and they've done that, and really that episode is kind of, that told like 3 different stories. Okay. In one. And like that was kind of, it was like an anthology within an anthology essentially. Yeah. But they never went beyond that, and I don't think they would ever do that. They would never have another episode where it's like, okay, this is directly connected. Okay. They might have like there's the odd nod, but that's it. Doesn't go any further than that. Yeah. Like, and that's kind of what they should do with What If. It's just let it maybe get like some wacky people to come in and write it. Literally. Yeah. Why not? Like,
it should be the show that can take risks.
Yeah.
If anything in the
Peanuts.
MCU can take risks, it should be What If.
No, because it doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
it literally, it can be shit, it can be a failure, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You could just leave it. It's fine. Like
It's
people
so
will watch
sad
it.
to see it be so bland and samey.
Yeah.
And like all the episodes, I mean, the animation style's fine, but there is no flair to it.
The anime style looked very like it looked very generic. Like it just didn't, Like, and I think it's a shame because I think it would have been cool if every episode had a different style.
Yeah.
Based on who and what it was about.
The fucking like Peggy Carter episode could have been in black and white.
Yeah.
Like absolutely.
Yeah. Or it could have been stylized after like like whenever it was set.
Yeah.
Could have been stylized after like some of them, or like maybe some of them could have been like 2D animation, or maybe some of them could have been they could have done something different for each one to like go with the style.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas like, and then rather than have, like they've all got the exact same thing, which is, I mean they don't look terrible, but they look cheap.
Yes.
It's the problem. They look like, I don't know what the budget was for the show, but I don't think it was that high.
The animation
they don't look that impressive.
Isn't very good. Generally, like the action scenes aren't very good.
Yeah, it's very generic. Like
the pace is also really shit of all the episodes because obviously they're trying to fit in these massive, especially like stuff like the Peggy Carter episode. They're trying to tell basically this what should be a 2 hour long film in like
half an hour.
Exactly. Yeah. So unsurprisingly, it is really like fast paced.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work. That's the What If is just annoying. I'm more frustrated that What If doesn't work than like WandaVision or fucking Black Widow.
Yeah.
Because What If feels like the kind of thing that should be where the Marvel can like do something creative and not just make the same
exactly.
fucking thing.
It should be the space for creators at Marvel to actually write a weird story.
Yes.
Or whatever weird ideas they got. Maybe you can't do it in the film, you can do it here. Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like I always thought like Marvel should have done something. I would love a Marvel show that took place in between those 5 years, between Infinity War and Endgame.
That would be,
I can't believe that they completely skipped over it and have done nothing about it.
Yeah.
That's such a huge gap. I would love to have seen a show or something about how the world coped after the Thanos like snap.
Yeah.
To see what would, because I figured it felt like it was glossed over a little bit after like a certain point, and it's become like a joke now.
I don't think every I think the big thing, I don't think every Marvel film or series or whatever needs to be a massive game changer about superheroes.
No.
You can have, if you want to do world building, which obviously they want to do, if you really want to focus on world building, I want to see what random fucking Jim is doing during the blip.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I would have loved a show during the blip. And like maybe have some of the MCU people in it.
Yeah.
And it's about like the ones who survived and what they did during those 5 years.
Yeah.
Because 5 years is a long time to just skip over.
Exactly.
And like not really, because they kind of just don't really feel all that like different.
No.
Really. Like,
No.
And but I'm like, that would have been sick to see in those 5 years. Like I would have loved if the Black Widow film took place during that 5 years.
Yes.
That would have been perfect as like a, because like, the timing for a Black Widow film is still a bit weird, but at least I can go, okay, but you showed me what the blip was.
Yeah.
You showed me what it was like.
Where she seemed to take more of a leader role in that, and so it's like, that would be perfect.
That would have been literally the perfect way for them to, to kind of do something new.
Yeah. Rather
than setting it between Civil War and Infinity War, which we've already had fucking like 10 or 20 films all set in that period.
Yes.
Like, I mean, is Shang-Chi set after Endgame?
Yeah, it's set after the blip. Yeah. It's not mentioned though. Even though like you got to think is that some of these characters. Well, that's the thing. Is the blip is, it's a good idea for a plot device, but it doesn't feel like the writers are remembering it.
Like Falcon and the Winter Soldier had a cool idea.
Yeah.
With the blip where a bunch of people were basically homeless.
Yes.
Because people were like living at home and all of that. Like that, I really liked that idea. And I think the shows could explore that more.
Yeah.
And and look at that more and look at what the blip did, but they don't.
They don't even acknowledge. I think the biggest thing is the aging.
Yeah.
Like people should be all over the place, and we should it's like
Spider-Man mentions it briefly, if I remember. And I think basically
Spider-Man does, yeah.
Everyone who came back just had to basically carry on.
Yes.
Like the studies, they had to just basically go from where they left off.
I will say, obviously I don't care, because it's film. It's not meant to be following exact logic. It is annoyingly funny that it's all the Spider-Man main characters so happened to be blipped away.
Yeah.
So that they could all perfectly... Like, I don't care about that.
It's a bit... Yeah, it's a bit like... I mean, could that be just see, like, what happened during the blip?
Yeah.
What did they see?
Yes.
What happened? Were they just in darkness, like, for 5 years, or did they not notice? That would have been interesting to see.
Yes.
Like, maybe, like, what was the blip to them?
Yeah.
Like, was that... Like, did these people just basically just disappear?
Scarlet Witch got blipped, didn't she?
Yes, she did, yeah.
She would be like... I think that would have been a really cool thing to do in WandaVision.
Yeah.
Is have literally her just mourning Vision.
Yeah.
Like, even that could be literally the opening scene of... Like,
Yeah.
not even... Like, the opening scene of one episode of WandaVision. I don't care which one. Probably one, like, near the end or something. Where you have, like... a showing what Wanda, like... like, mourning Vision in Infinity War. Like, when that's happened, when Vision's literally just had the fucking stone pulled out of him. Sitting there with his, like, greying out body or whatever.
Yeah.
While there's all the fighting with Thanos going on behind her. And then she gets, like, snapped... And then, like, when she's, like, crying or whatever, she gets snapped away. And it's just, like, fucking darkness. And then she comes back. I guess she'd be in the same place. She'd come
See,
back.
because that's the thing, is that... Because I think everyone came back. But I don't know if they never really looked at, like, what happened to them.
Yeah.
Like, where did they go?
Yeah.
Like, what... Like, when they went away, was it just, like... When they came back, did it feel like no time had passed?
Yeah.
It's like...
So, like, I think that would have been interesting to explore in literally any
But they just
show.
glossed past it now. It seems like they're moving straight on past the blip now.
Multiverse.
Yeah, it's all about the multiverse now. They've just completely ignored the blip. Like, it was like, oh, well, that was a crazy event that just happened. Oh, well. Like...
And, like, the timeline of the MCU is now so fucked.
Yeah.
And it's like, the whole thing the MCU had going for it, at the very least, was there was at least some sense of continuity and consistency.
Yeah.
And now that's so fucked. We don't know what's canon. There's now a multiverse. We don't know what, like, the hell, where things are set, when things are set, how old characters are, like...
We know nothing. Like, and that's the thing, is, like, it eventually, they're going to be in a situation where they can't, like, where that is going to catch up to them.
Yes.
All of that is going to catch up to them.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, you know, like... And it's frustrating because they had it so well with the Infinity Saga, but they had a plan. Now it's like they haven't got a clue.
Yes.
They have no idea.
I think that's going to be what kills the MCU.
100%.
Is the fact that they... Well, I think, one, obviously, no one can pretend the MCU isn't oversaturated.
See, that's the thing now, is everyone's like... Because, like, superhero fatigue slowly is creeping in.
Yes.
Very slowly. I've seen a lot of people saying that they don't care about Marvel anymore after
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I was like, yeah, it's fine. I got my fill. I'm done.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people say that, and I think it's slowly creeping in because I feel like over time people are gonna... I mean, obviously Spider-Man's gonna be huge.
Yeah.
But I think eventually, once these legacy people are gone, like for the Guardians, I don't know if people are gonna care as much.
The thing is, I can't imagine Avengers 5 doing particularly, like, massive numbers.
Yeah, because, like, no one... I feel like they had the cast, but a lot of them have gone now. Cause,
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the contracts were up and a lot of them were given endings.
Yeah.
Like,
if people haven't been seeing... Because obviously COVID, I mean, guys, has been a bit of a factor in this. But if people haven't been seeing the films meant to be setting up Avengers 5... No one's going to give a shit about Avengers 5.
Like, I mean, because Black Widow didn't do great in the box office. It done okay.
Yeah.
I think Disney Plus Premier Access, like that Premier Access they done for it, I think helped a little bit.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi done well, and Eternals they've all done well considering.
Yeah.
But I feel like the hype is just not there as much.
No.
It'll be there for Spider-Man, but I don't know what about like the rest of it.
I can't imagine, like, next year. I mean... I can't imagine, like, when Captain Marvel 2, for instance, comes out.
Because even Captain Marvel, that made the money it made because because it was that, like, it was riding the wave of Infinity War and that cliffhanger, and they also teased Captain Marvel at the end of that, so it was kind of like, go into this because there'll be something important. There wasn't really. There was the after credit scene, which doesn't make any sense when you look at it.
What was the after credit scene of him?
It's she like. It's like they're all it's like all the Avengers, and then I think it's like Captain Marvel like just shows up.
Oh,
and
okay.
They're all like, whoa, who's this? But then in the film, they like meet her for the first time again. It's weird. It's like this weird, like, that scene feels weird when you watch it, and then when you watch Endgame, because it's like it feels like maybe they shot 2 versions of that, and then I don't know. There was just something weird about it where it seemed like the Captain Marvel, like, think about them meeting her for the first time, and then after that scene, that scene after Captain Marvel, them meeting her for the first time in Endgame.
Yeah.
And it was like, they don't align. Like, it's weird. They act like they've seen it for the first time in Endgame, which doesn't make any sense. And it's like they've seen it in Captain Marvel, and it's like this weird thing of like, it didn't seem right.
Yeah.
Like the way they done it. And I forget, if I remember right, Captain America still has a beard in the after credit scene, whereas, and then when he's on Endgame, he doesn't have the beard like anymore when they meet her.
Huh.
And it's like this weird continuity thing. Well, I don't know if anyone like addressed it, but it was like, and I assume when they meet her in Endgame, they've met her for the first time.
Yeah.
Because they could do it a little bit like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, what's she doing? Like, bringing this like ship down, like bringing Tony Stark back. And like, it seemed like that was the first time they met her.
Yeah.
But then in the after scene of Captain Marvel, they met her there, like for the first time. It's like they met her for the first time twice. But I don't know whether the Endgame thing, like the Captain Marvel after credit scene, they done it as a way to avoid spoilers. I don't know. It's weird. It was like a really strange like thing that happened there. But yeah, like, but even that, I don't know how well that next Captain Marvel's gonna do.
No.
I don't know how well that's really gonna do, because I don't think anyone really cares about Captain Marvel.
I will be surprised if, obviously there's going to be a big Avengers film versus Kang.
Eventually.
I will be surprised if the MCU lasts past that. I think the MCU will stick around for a long time.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a slow decline.
Yes,
it's one of them. Like I do think superhero fatigue will appear. It's like the Western. Like eventually, people got tired of that.
Yeah,
because they were releasing fucking 20 of them a year. But getting close to that with superhero films, man. Where not even just
every week.
Because it's not even just Marvel. It's DC as well. Yeah. It's everyone's cashing in on the superhero craze.
Yeah,
there's so many coming out now, and eventually people are gonna go, "No, I'm done."
Yeah,
like I've had enough.
Yeah,
like
I think like the fact that Western is. It obviously it died, but it stayed.
It stayed in a much smaller capacity.
I think that's what will happen to the MCU.
Yeah.
I don't think the MCU will flat out die.
But it might be like maybe one film a year.
Yeah.
Instead of 3 or 4, or even 5, depending on
bloody 5 TV shows.
Yeah, I mean, because Marvel. Because if you want to count the new Venom as an MCU film, that's 5 MCU films this year.
And then 5 shows as well.
5 shows, basically sorting out every month.
Yeah.
Next year, that's even more increased. Yeah. They've got all the shows, they've got all the films. It's like, it's so much. It's
ridiculous. I don't know how. I honestly don't know how people aren't fatigued already.
I think it's just because the hype.
Yeah.
The hype with Marvel, and I think Spider-Man's helping that a bit.
Oh, I mean, obviously.
Spider-Man's gonna help that. But what about after that?
Like next year, I think will be quite an interesting. Because there's a lot of sequels next year.
Yeah, next year it's mostly sequels, but it's sequels to like Thor.
Yeah.
And stuff, which I think will do well.
Oh, Thor will do well.
Huge. Guardians is going to be huge. Like the Black Panther will be huge.
Like this is probably going to be the last Guardians film.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, they're probably going to wrap up those characters. Thor might get another one.
But even then, I think that'll just be probably more of an Angelina Jolie film. She's the who's the one who's the Natalie
Portman. Yeah.
Natalie Portman.
Probably, yeah. It might be like one of them where Chris Hemsworth's in it. So he has a trilogy.
Yeah.
Because he has a trilogy with Farrah, but I think they're kind of pretending those first 2 didn't happen now because no one liked them.
Yes.
So so they kind of, I think you want to give him a trilogy of good films.
Yeah.
And then they want to move on. Captain America 4, but with Falcon, which I assume will be a new trilogy. But will that be as successful?
Yeah. And like there's other stuff coming, like Fantastic Four is obviously coming out soon.
I think it'll probably do. I can't
imagine Fantastic Four doing particularly I don't feel like I know it's meant to be a big property, but I can't imagine audiences going fucking hell, Fantastic Four's coming out.
I think it will do well just because I think depending on who they cast. Yeah. But also Fantastic Four, it's still recognisable, and I think people will want this one to be good.
Yes.
They've tried, this is the...
Fantastic. Beautiful film.
This is technically the 4th time they've tried to do this right.
Yeah.
The first one didn't even come out. The
Yes.
second time, they had a sequel, but both people didn't like them.
Yeah.
Then they obviously had the Josh Trank one, which
That's definitely a film I saw.
was so bad that the director basically told everyone that it wasn't his, that they massacred the film. Like, but that's the thing. They've tried to get it right and they've just failed. Whereas I think Marvel can. I think the MCU Fantastic Four will be fine.
Yeah.
I think it'll be one of them. Will be like, it won't be amazing, but it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Depending on who they cast as well. I don't know. I have no idea. We don't even know when it's coming out.
Mm.
That one could even be a Phase 5.
Well, it's meant to be Phase 4, but I assume it's just going to be 2023.
See, because that's the thing. I don't know, because John Watts is so far from home. But if he's or No Way Home, but if he's doing the trilogy for Tom Holland, is he gonna have time? Because he's doing Fantastic Four as well.
Oh, true.
So it's like, I don't know whether maybe the reins might get taken out. So I think either maybe John Watts might leave Fantastic Four,
Yeah.
or a new director will take over
Yeah.
for the Spider-Man. I don't know who it would be, but it seems like John Watts is all in on Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
What Spider-Man's done, it's all in. So I feel like Fantastic Four will probably be 2024.
Okay.
Probably because I imagine 2022 and 2023 for Marvel are probably all sorted out.
What even is in 2023 right now?
I think 2023, I think that's when Guardians is.
Yeah, Guardians, Ant-Man and Wasp, Quantumania. Because everyone's excited about that film.
I think I don't even know why they keep doing them. I think
Genuinely.
those ones are the ones that make the least money in the Ant-Man films. No one gives a shit.
But for some reason, this is where we're introducing Kang the Conqueror, obviously.
That's probably why they're making it, because they want to be like, last chance, see if it'll be like successful.
And when it isn't, it'll be like, oh well.
Oh well.
Fantastic Four, I imagine Fantastic Four will be like November 2023, is my guess.
For which?
Fantastic Four.
I'm gonna say either end of 2023 or early, or maybe 2024.
Yeah.
Like one of like the first of 2024. Because I think next year they'll probably talk about they'll probably get the cast and sources next year. I mean, there's already been rumours about it. I feel like soon we'll hear about it. Who's in it?
Oh, for sure. I mean we'll find. I think we'll find out soon. And like next year, there's fuck all coming out in terms of films. It's Doctor Strange, Thor, and Black Panther, and that's it.
Well, that's the thing. If I remember right, they did say they were going to go back to free.
But for the best.
Yeah, it was going to go back to free, and then I think they were going to do. But then it was going to be more shows. But even then, that 3 shows and
4 shows.
Yeah, but there may be more if they do second seasons.
Yeah, true. Well, I imagine Loki season 2 will.
Because Loki will probably squeeze in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So that'll be 5 technically.
Yeah.
So even that 5.
And then there's the Guardians Galaxy Holiday Special.
Yeah, which is like because even now we don't even know how long that would be. Is that going to be? Because that's what I've been wondering about. That is that going to be like a film length?
I don't know.
Because I don't know how.
My guess is somewhere between 30 to 60 minutes. But that's just a really random guess.
I'm going to say it might be an hour.
Yeah.
An hour, I would say. An hour, maybe 90 minutes at the absolute longest.
Yes.
But I feel like a 90-minute film and then a 2.5 hour, that's a lot. That's
Yeah.
pretty ambitious to have both of them. I feel like it might be an hour. I don't even know if it'll even tie into the third one as much. It might just be a random, holiday special.
I imagine it's just going to it's going to just make fun of the Star Wars holiday special a lot.
Yeah, it'll just be kind of, maybe it's like a kind of a bit of a piss take of the Christmas stuff, and it might be like a really simple story of they're on a mission somewhere.
They need to save Christmas.
Yeah, it'll be dead simple, or probably an hour.
Yeah.
But that's the thing I was thinking,
Alien Santa Claus.
Because that's the thing, and I was like, that's quite a big thing to announce, considering that no one else is doing that.
No.
It's technically a film. If you want to see it as that, how long is it going to be?
I imagine it'll be an hour.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes, because I feel like it's less meant to be a film, more a TV special.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think they want to go too crazy with it.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe 75 minutes or something like that at the absolute max.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Maybe just a little over an hour.
I think it'll probably be good. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
What should be my favourite thing from Phase 4?
I like Guardians is the thing.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I could easily see it being that for me if it's good.
So I think Guardians 3 will be probably. I mean, I can't imagine it'll be bad.
No, that'll be good. I think that'll be really good.
Yeah, I'm excited for Guardians. I'm excited for Guardians 3. I'm decently excited for Thor 4. Fantastic Four, I guess I'm more like eyebrow raised about.
Yeah, because we know nothing about it. Is the thing, we know literally nothing. Black Panther, exactly. I'm a bit like, I did like Black Panther, the first one, as much.
Yeah.
As well, I think a lot of people, I think that one's a bit too low. Like, I think there's some really cool ideas in it, but I think it's let down by also like the Marvel formula.
Yes.
Like, Killmonger's a good villain, but I also think that I don't like the fact that he just disappears for like an hour of that film, and he just comes back like after Andy Serkis is gone.
There's some, yeah.
He basically just disappears for a while. It's like, oh, I'm here now. It's like, okay. And like also like some of the effects in it are terrible.
Oh,
which is a shame because
the final fight is terrible.
Yeah, like the final fight's awful, and that has the same problem with like it's also the cinematography in it.
Yeah.
Besides the odd shot, looks really bland.
Yeah. I remember seeing tweets about like the cinematography in Marvel films, and they were like, oh, look at how pretty these are. No.
Like there's some really pretty shots in Black Panther, then there's a lot of shots where like there's people who've obviously been put on a green screen.
Yes.
And that ruins the film's like animation. Like, and that's a big problem with that film, is it's obviously trying to be this visual spectacle, but
it's not at all.
Yeah, it's just not, and I hate it. Black Panther 2 will obviously do well, because it's obviously going to be the big, like Chadwick Boseman, like tribute, like, but I don't know what the fuck's going on with it. So
I think Ryan Coogler is a good director, and so I'm excited to see. Obviously, I mean, he's directing a Marvel film, so it's Marvel.
It's still
directing
very
a Marvel film.
Yeah, it's still Marvel.
I am excited to see what he does.
Yeah, like I think it'll be interesting to see how they manage to get around the Chadwick Boseman thing, and whether or not and how they're gonna get, I don't know whether, but obviously there's also a chance that the film might be in really serious trouble.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a tough one.
It'll be interesting. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I guess I can't imagine they're gonna move the Marvels up in case that film does get delayed.
That's a possibility. Yeah, that's the thing, because they did delay some of them recently.
Yeah.
Like they did a couple of little delays.
So I don't know whether or not that was more of a safety measure.
I think it was. It was more. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily saying oh I think it was more of we're gonna, because they were moved too crazy. They basically just pushed up by one.
Yeah.
And I think they pushed some of them out of the years that they were coming out. I think. I think what I expect is Black Panther will probably do fine.
Yeah.
That'll probably do fine, but I do think it'll be interesting to see if how it'll do in terms of how is that production gonna actually work.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Will it be delayed? I think in the end it'll be alright. It will be made, it will come out, but it's still a bit
Yeah, I mean, I think that's my general feeling towards all of Phase 4.
Yeah, because it's just nothing,
It's very messy, it's very confusing.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have no idea if they know what they're doing. And I've yet to feel excited about a Phase 4 project, after seeing it.
Yeah, I feel because I feel out of all of them I've been yeah.
Yeah. Shang-Chi was good.
Mm.
But even something like Hawkeye, which is kind of what I guess I was asking for, or something smaller scale, that doesn't feel, too burdened by the fact it's trying to change the entire storyline of the MCU. Even that's just kind of been...
Yeah, it's still a bit they need... I don't know, they're in a weird space right now, and they need to figure it out. The fans will still watch it, but I don't know. It's a bit of I just don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with them.
Yeah, exactly. We should probably end there.
Yeah.
Because it's been 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Oh my god, yeah, I didn't even...
But thank you guys so much for watching, if you have been watching.
Yeah. If you didn't just stop after 5 minutes, if you did, fuck you.
And if you listen to this on Spotify, we do this on YouTube and Spotify simultaneously.
Yeah, at the same time, because we're both busy workers.
Exactly.
We're very busy men.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So make sure you go and either follow this on Spotify or subscribe to us on YouTube, or do both.
Just do both.
Yeah.
Go on.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Ooh.
That
was such a YouTuber.
That was the most YouTuber thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Wow.
Comment down below how you're feeling for the MCU Phase 4.
I won't read them.
I might. depending on the day
and availability. I may read them, maybe. If I do, I will disagree with you anyway, just because I like arguing.
Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Stay safe.
Bye.